Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another edition of YouTube Take, and the gang's all here.
Oh God! Don't ever do that shit again.
Fuck off.
The gang's all here.
When do I ever not start the show with a horrible joke or like a weird intro? That's my thing. It's my
As
gimmick.
long as you didn't say the band is back together, that would suck.
I was considering that. I had them both in my mind.
That would have been better, actually.
We got the band back together. All right, introduce yourselves.
Yeah, I'm Nightmareballa1. Y'all know me. Y'all should.
And I'm Nytemare10.
And we are back to the good old days.
The band is back in town.
I had a lot of good. The shows that we did with Chase were all really good and really informative. I thought those are some of the best stuff we did. But as far as my own personal
entertainment,
yeah. This is the crew right here. If I want to learn
like
more,
the NBA shows were cool, but the problem with the NBA and even college basketball, as much as I love it, there's not much to talk about during the season.
Yeah.
Until important shit happens. So we didn't really get a chance to really, just be stupid. Like we, because Chase can be just as dumb as all us, man. But
yes,
you just didn't get a chance to.
You guys may not know that, but that is very true. The people listening to this. But hey, man, we're back. We're here to talk football, Dolphins, Patriots hate, Lane Kiffin. It's all here. It's all on the docket. So let's start it off by going over our teams. Over the past 2 weeks, as you all know, I'm a Dolphins fan and a Hurricanes fan. Markeem is Virginia Tech and Eagles. Phil is Patriots and South Carolina. Markeem will start.
Well, here's the thing. I wanted to mainly talk about just everything, in general.
We will. This is, you've seen.
We're just gonna start with our team. Okay, all right.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Come on. I have the viewers can't see this, but I have a list of topics to talk about, and it's all included. This is just the intro.
Okay, I'll go first since there's only two games.
And your thing was the earliest. Go for it.
Okay, first I'm going to talk about the Eagles because that actually is positive stuff to say.
For once.
They, Chip Kelly, let me explain. See, I'm more optimistic about the fact that the shit actually worked. You know what I mean? The people, it's been hyped for months, you know what I mean? And it was is Chip Kelly's system going to work? And I can promise you, as somebody that's been watching Oregon since he's got there, it is exactly the same. Pretty much what they did on Monday night, the exact same thing. Here's the problem. You have Mike Vick. You know what I mean? You have LaShawn McCoy, both guys with a history of injury problems. You know what I mean? Mike Vick more so than LaShawn McCoy. You have a guy like Mike Vick who is not that great when he has to pass, a bunch in a game. What are they going to do when they're behind and they're trying to run this fast offense and Mike Vick is going to be passing a lot? That's catastrophic. That's just catastrophe waiting to happen. I like the defense. We actually look energized. You know what I mean? We actually wanted to be there. So that was cool. I was just more so optimistic that the actual system itself, it actually worked because I had my, I was skeptical, and they're gonna have to tone it down because they ran so many plays, and you just can't sub in and out the way you can in college because there's so many backups at the college. You just can't do that. So they're gonna have to scale it back a little bit, but this can work, and that makes me happy. I don't think Chip Kelly's gonna redefine the game and they're gonna score 40 points a game, but I'm excited, and that's all I got to say about the Eagles.
Well, let me ask you this: last year. Because last year you were the most negative Eagles fan I've ever seen from the beginning. Just completely burying the team every week, burying Michael Vick. I just want to ask you, when it comes to the defense, when you watched them last year, what were little things that you saw last year that they just did not show in that game Monday night to show that they were better?
Well, Phil's boy Nnamdi Asomugha would just stand there and watch stuff happen. Just look. Hey, I'm getting paid $30 million. I'm gonna let that guy run past me. I hated that dude, man. I was like, why are you out there? You are the most expensive statue in the history of sport. Real shit. He just stood there and watched shit happen. Yeah, guys, the defensive line, they didn't communicate. You know what I mean? So some guys see, here's the thing. I played D-line in high school, and a lot of people don't know you have to communicate on the defensive line because guys have to know whether to go through A-gap, or switch men and then go to C gap. You have to know, you know what I mean? Like you have to know. Like you can actually audible that amongst yourselves, you know what I mean? And they didn't do any of that. It was just pretty much hike the ball, try and push offensive line out of the way. You know what I mean? It was so typical, and it just didn't work. We didn't get the best linebacker play, but I thought they were okay. You know what I mean? I just thought that they didn't care. And on Monday night, they looked like they cared. They were after RG3. But he did make a lot of mistakes at first because he had a lot of rust, obviously. But they still were after. They were after him the whole game. It's just he started to make plays at the end. But they actually tried, and I appreciated that because they actually played like they gave a fuck. That was my thing.
And I never asked
the stars come together. Right.
I never.
What you say, Phil?
I said one bunch of stars that because like that was the whole thing, like the heat of the NFL.
Oh
like,
God,
the Rodgers from Marty and all.
When Vince Young said that, I wanted to just jump off a cliff. I'm like, shut up, dude. Like we don't have a LeBron James. Can you please be quiet? Like, you shut up. Like Peyton Manning didn't come to us, nigga. We don't have him. We ain't got Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. Shut up. Be quiet.
Now I have to ask you this because we never really talked about it on air, and I think you should mention it very quickly, considering it was such a big part of the franchise history. Andy Reid. Now that he's gone, like looking back, did you think that it was just his time to go? Like because I've heard everyone say like the team didn't want to play for him anymore, and I was just like, how do you like? He's been there forever. Why does the team just like not care about him as a coach anymore? Like, do you think it was just?
I think Andy Reid. Did I cut you off, kid? You had more to say?
No, I didn't. Go.
Okay, I think Andy Reid's stint with the Eagles is very similar to Gabe Sapolsky's stint in Ring of Honor.
Wow.
Where it just got to the point that he was just burnt out. He just needed a change of scenery. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Dragon Gate USA or Evolve or anything like that, but I can thoroughly say that most Dragon Gate USA stuff and Evolve stuff is better than that late ROH stuff when he left. So, he was just, it's just like that. He was just burnt out. Just needed to leave, change the scenery.
Fair enough.
More power to him, though, man. If we don't win the Super Bowl, or Andrew Luck, or RG3 doesn't win the Super Bowl, or Aaron Rodgers doesn't win the Super Bowl, I want him, to get a ring. Like, if he didn't get it with us, cool,
So
That's
cool. He's fifth on the pecking order. Mine, Luck, RG3, and
something like that.
Luck, RG3. It's Eagles, Colts, Redskins, Packers, then Chiefs.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there you go.
I kind of just have Dolphins, Texans, and I guess Panthers under there.
All
right, Phil. I guess we'll go sport first, or
yeah. Let's go sport.
Yeah. All right, Phil.
Because I got a lot to say about them fucking Hokies. So go ahead.
Phil, the Patriots. A lot of questions in the offseason. Barely got one away from the Bills. Just what are your overall thoughts in going into the game on Thursday? Without mentioning, we'll talk about the game later, but just your overall thoughts on the team, what's going on, so what's been going on.
But don't talk about it. What now?
I mean, we're gonna talk about the Jets game like later, just like
you talk about the game that happened, right?
Yeah, just talk about and the state of the team.
That game Sunday was brutal to watch. I'll even admit that. As a Patriot, I'll say brutal, but just different. I kind of had to adjust back to knowing that it's going to be a different team. But oh man, Brady's like so. I really feel like, especially after watching the game, like I thought, we have some pieces there. There's a lot of young players there that are going to have to step up. Well, that's very evident after that first game against the Bills. Brady got the ball to a lot of people, but they just couldn't catch the ball or they couldn't make the play. And it's like, it kind of opened my eyes for what Markeem was saying. We're like more chances of interceptions because there was one where Sutfield can't catch the ball and it's picked off. So it's like
that pick was incredible, by the way.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good move on the defensive part too, by the way. But if he catch that ball, it's not a pick.
Yeah,
wasn't like that Brian Cushing pick, though. Oh, my God. That was ridiculous, man. But go ahead, Phil. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I got you. But anyways, what I'm saying, these young players have to make plays. Tompkins, who was covered very well by Leos McKelvin, but in the same sense, he had opportunities to make plays and didn't get it done. Not saying he won't. I mean, it's the first game. You can clearly see it's a team getting ready or adjusting to they're a whole new team. In my eyes, obviously they still have Brady, and when Gronk comes back, they'll still have him. Couple points. I mean, is it the team I expected? I expected us to click a little bit better on offense. I'll openly admit that. But I do think that they'll be fine going. I think this is a team that's going to get better week from week to week to week. Now, granted, other people need to stay healthy. I can't. We'll get to Danny Amendola later from the preview for the Jets game, but dude's already freaking hurt. I tweeted about it. Big Rat favorited the tweet. He knew it. I was thought that hilarious. But anyway, it's just like, we don't have very many players. And Danny Amendola played great in that game, by the way. As soon as he went out and started holding his groin, I wanted to throw something at the TV, but it's not my TV because I was at Beaver Brady's. But I didn't want to throw nothing at my TV either. But if it had been my TV, I'd have thought about it.
I was about to say, why would you want to break your own television anyways?
Right, well, I would break my own television. But anyways, what I'm saying is like they even showed like a camera angle where he's like holding his groin on the side. I'm like, what are you doing, man? Already, dude. But props to Julian Edelman for stepping up. He stepped up huge. If Brady didn't have him and the connection there, I don't know where that game would have went. But I think we'll be fine. Running back, we lost Vereen, but I think the running game will be fine. If Belichick will just trust him. And Ridley, man, he fumbled and just bam. We're not going to. A lot of people in fantasy, I'm sure, will feel me on this one, but. You can't do that to Ridley, man. You can't. I mean, I understand he fumbled, take him out a couple series, but like the rest of the game, I don't know if you guys know, but like he fumbled and Belichick didn't bring him. He didn't even bring him in for another snap, which I don't know if it was Belichick's call. I'm assuming it was. I'm pointing it to him. It said he's the head coach, so so you gotta trust your guy. I mean, Ridley's the guy that needs to get the carries, and now even more than ever because Vereen's hurt. So Vereen had a 100-yard game. I believe it was the only one in the league that week. So
and LaShawn McCoy.
Oh, before Sunday. On Sunday.
Okay. No, Terrell Pryor, but yeah, as a running back.
Well, running back, right. Anyways. But as far as the team, I mean, I if you follow me on Twitter during the game at one point, I'm like, man, maybe we need to just go and dive into free agency and get a solid wide receiver just to stick out there. Not necessarily the guy that has to get all the targets, but just someone that will draw attention. But, I mean, obviously we're not going to do that. But, it is what it is. This is a team that's going to have to grow from what they're doing. It's going to have to depend on a lot of young players. And let's just say, I don't know if there are any because we haven't won a Super Bowl in forever, but if there are any bandwagon fans still on, they'll probably jump off very soon because this is not the team that is bandwagon friendly, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, this is. But
I think the crowd y'all got though is like. I think y'all are the fans. I mean, when they were winning those Super Bowls, then but I think that y'all those are Patriots fans.
That's the same thing. I agree. I think the fans are now, but they jump too fast. They jump back and forth. But nonetheless, as far as the Bills Patriots game, we got the win. That's all. I mean, it was ugly, but that's the wins you have to get. I mean, to say that you can't, that great teams don't get the ugly wins is stupid because we went 16-0 and had to win like 4 of those games from my top of my head, like really close. So obviously it wasn't against crappy teams, but still. But the Giants weren't even that great. Actually, week 16 when we played them, of course they went on to win Super Bowl. But that's something. Why am I bringing that back up? Anyways, but
still hurts, huh, Phil?
Oh, it hurts. I don't want to move on. But yeah, as far as I'm confident in them. I mean, obviously I didn't pick them to win the Super Bowl. And during that game, I'm like, I jinxed them. First thing I'm thinking, I'm like, I didn't pick them for the win the Super Bowl. This is my fault. But anyways, I can ramble on and on about my Patriots, but I think they'll be fine. I just obviously missing Welker a lot. Gronk has to come back and he has to stay healthy. I think to make this team. I like the defense. I know a lot of people will probably, during the game, and they'll always hate the defense. But the defense, I think, has gotten better every year. Granted, they're not going to jump to first, but you don't go from worst to first in defense. It just doesn't happen that way. So they're great. I think they're great against the run. They did pretty well.
CJ Spiller struggled, and he's pretty amazing. So
and they're great about
turnovers,
which is great. Which is what you.
Did you know that they have a turnover in 28 consecutive games?
Did not know that, and that's crazy.
I saw that stat today. That's insane.
They're like plus something ridiculous too. Yeah. Like plus for like over like the past 3 years. It's fucking crazy.
I mean, that's something they do, and I think that's good. Of course, cornerback. I mean, that's what frustrates. EJ Manuel, we made him look way better than I think he really is. And Marquine would probably vouch for that. But
I didn't see the game, but I saw his numbers. Hell no.
But
that's not the real EJ Manuel. Hell no.
The cornerbacks were playing off at times. They weren't.
He had a half read formation. There was one formation. Smart Football tweeted about it where they put all 4 receivers on one half.
Yeah.
He legitimately only had to look at his left side. Like, it wasn't staring down your receivers. They were all on one side. Like, he only had one read. It was very easy. They're protecting him a lot.
Right.
A lot.
Which is what you're supposed to do. It's a rookie quarterback.
I'm not faulting them. I would do it too.
Right.
I'm just saying.
But another thing people kind of like what me and Big Rat have talked about before, for people that are like, oh my gosh, the Patriots almost lost to the Bills. They play us tough every time we play in Buffalo. I never expect a blowout in Buffalo.
They play everybody tough in Buffalo. That's why I think it's bullshit. It's ridiculous.
But it's just like even games that we end up blowing them out in the end, like the score in the end isn't close. Like there was a game I think last year they were like it was close in the first half and then we
35-31.
Was that last year?
Yeah, that was last year if I remember correctly.
And then we blew them out in the second half because like they kept turning the ball over. So it's like, you know, we always play the Bills tough. So I'm not even worried about what people think about that. So
I think that you mentioned it earlier. It's not just Amendola. I think Gronkowski's injury history is being a little overlooked. Motherfuckers forget, using Marquinhos' term, motherfuckers forget that Gronk's missed a lot too. Gronk missed like 6 games last year. Like, you know, people, it's not like, oh, he had surgery and when he comes back, they'll be fine. He has to stay healthy. He has an injury history, too. And I said this before. Replacing Wes Welker with Amendola will do nothing at all poorly to the offense. But when Amendola's not playing, it would absolutely, like, kill it. Like, they rely so much on that position. And if Amendola...
the slot receiver?
Yes. Yeah. Welker had 120 catches last year. That's just ridiculous. And he was phased out of the offense, quote unquote. Keep joking around, Phil. But my point is that they need someone to fill that spot. And I'm so tired of everyone complimenting Danny Amendola's toughness. You know how often I've seen that the past few days? Look, I get it. He is really tough. But that's not what people are criticizing. People feel like compelled to like defend Danny Amendola because he gets.
Nobody said he was soft. He's just injury prone.
He's not. His body is not durable at the NFL level. He missed 20 games the last 2 years. 21 officially. Like, you know, it's just I'm tired of it. Like, it seems like every day I see another tweet. Oh my God, Danny Amendola is so tough. I don't know why he gets a bad rep. No one ever says he's tough. He's just not durable. Right. But the Patriots are also very lucky that they need. If there ever a time where they were vulnerable, it's now. And they play the Bills, the Jets, and then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Right. So
not exactly stout offenses. Then they go against the Falcons, the Bengals, and the Saints. And
everyone should be like at least close to back by then. So
yeah. although even if they do have everybody healthy, that New Orleans game is going to be something else. That game might be like 40-39.
Probably. It might be. It's going to be something. But one thing I will say.
Watch it's like 0-3.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. One thing I will say to what you were saying. You know, last year you don't have Gronk. You can kind of get by. You know, or whatever as much as you can without a beast like that. But you know, you had Hernandez. You had Welker. You had guys like that. Now it's like you lose like your only big playmaker. Like I'm not knocking Danny, but I'm just saying like as far as like you don't have that guy, that playmaker. So without Gronk, it's a little bit less, and then you lose if you know Danny's most likely not playing Thursday. So it's like now it just that whole thing I was talking about where a lot of these young guys have to step up. Well, with more injuries, they have to step up even more. So it's like now Julian Edelman, who had a beast game for himself, and you know. In general, like he's like now he has to step up even more because he is like if he doesn't deliver, okay, now you know Kimbrel Tompkins, you got to step up, you know, and things like that. So just gonna have to see what the young guys do, and you know, he won't fumble, so he won't get taken out of the game.
Now, the Dolphins, I don't really have a lot to say. I've said a lot about them already. They played the Browns. Unfortunately, they looked really good, but there's not really a lot to take home from it. I mean.
Browns have a good defense, though.
They do, and I'm not. I saw that firsthand. We're last in the NFL in rushing yards right now. thanks to them. But I'm just saying, the story of the Dolphins has always been they can beat any team under 500. It's playing the tougher teams where I start to beating the Seahawks, beating the Bengals last year. Those are games I take notice. This game this weekend I'll take notice. But I don't know what I'm supposed to say. Tannehill's looked really improved. I really think he might actually be a pretty good quarterback in this league. He looked really, really good, and he drew a fourth quarter drive that I never saw him make once last year. Never. Just driving in the fourth quarter and scoring a touchdown and closing out the game. I've never seen that from him. And
he didn't even do that at A&M. Shit, that's
he freaking fourth quarter, 9 minutes to go, and Omar Kelly, the main Dolphins beat writer that I follow, he tweets, "Okay, I guess Tannehill's going to lead us down, get us a field goal, get us a 7-point lead." And he's like, "Come on, guys, it's the Dolphins offense, baby steps." And then Tannehill drives down and scores a touchdown, and Omar just tweets, "Shit." What the fuck? I saw this man have 8 straight incomplete passes on a drive to win the game last year against the 49ers. Tannehill, the biggest question mark for him was always his fourth quarter efficiency. He threw 2 interceptions in under 2 minutes against the Bills last year. But I was very impressed. I'm very happy to see that. Brian Hartline looked amazing. He's going to be awesome in fantasy football this year because Mike Wallace is going to get him so many yards. I don't understand why more people don't get him because he's still relatively low owned. But yeah, the Dolphins look great. The D-line might be the best defensive line in football. Who knows? Cameron Wake, I'm convinced, is the second best defensive end in football. It's just good things. They're going to give Andrew Luck a lot of troubles. I feel bad for
We'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But yeah, plus for them, I'll also talk about my second team for legitimately no more than 2 minutes. Texans. I love the Texans. I came to the realization on Monday night when I was watching their game that I'm actually a fan. Am I as big a fan of them as I am of the Dolphins? No. But I was actually clapping whenever they scored touchdowns and cheering, when they made third down conversions. I wasn't just watching the game thinking, "Oh, that's good. I like the Texans. They're gonna win. That's good." I was legitimately when they got a 3 and out, I was like, "Damn it!" They're a team of mine. I'm a supporter and I want to see them win every game except when they play the Dolphins. But I'm legit. This is not just a team I like. I'm going to go as far as to say I'm a fan. And they also looked awful in the first half. Awful. But the second half, they looked hell of impressive. And I got to tell you, I was really impressed with Schaub and really impressed with Gary Kubiak, who's not getting enough credit. He freaking did a fake punt on 4th and 1.
But I gotta say, J.J. Watt took over that fourth quarter.
No, that is true.
He took over. That was like LeBron James on defense right there. That was fucking crazy. He swatting passes, hitting Phillip Rivers. He took over. That shit was nuts.
And don't forget Brian Cushing.
Yeah, and Brian Cushing with the pick and all that. And he played. But J.J. Watt though, that dude. I've never been more wrong about a person. I'm not talking about an athlete. I'm talking about a person in my life. Ever. That guy.
Yeah.
I was like, he'll be a solid end in the NFL. Boy, I was wrong. I was just totally wrong. Completely wrong.
He is a stud after all. But he looked hell of impressive. Schaub, what I was most impressed was the Texans really aren't a team that are built to come back from behind. They're a run first team, although they didn't act like it on Monday when Schaub threw 45 passes.
Arian Foster, not himself. That was weird.
But Ben Tate looked really good.
That's because I drafted him. That's why.
Ben Tate averaged 6.1 yards per carry.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and the Chargers D-line ain't no joke. That was impressive. But yeah, I was very happy with them, and they look so composed. They're down 28-7, and Schaub just looks very calm, very relaxed, like it's not a big deal. And little by little, step by step, just keeps driving them down. And almost all of his passes are wonderful.
You done praising Matt Schaub? You finished?
I know, right?
I haven't talked that much about them. But I also will add their offensive line looked awful. And the greatness of Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson.
You finished?
But yes, the Texans look really good. Now we'll get to the college level.
Hold on. One thing I meant to ask you about the Dolphins. 2 things I want you to comment on, since I know this is stupid, but whatever. Fantasy things I want you to comment on. For the Lamar Miller owners out in the world.
All right. Give it time. Lamar Miller.
Oh, go ahead. All right, good.
Lamar Miller will get more productive. We faced a very, very good Browns D-line. We've had so many injuries with the offensive line. We didn't know who our starting right guard was going to be until week 4 of the preseason. Because John Jerry was hurt, Lance Lewis was hurt. We tried out Josh Samuda. He was no good. As Markeem will tell you, a line, offensive and defensive, thrives on chemistry. They need it. It's the most important thing.
Communication and camaraderie, man.
And when you keep switching out members of the line, it's really hard to form a gelled unit. And now that we know who all the 5 starters are going to be, give it like a few weeks, and then they'll be gelled together and they'll be able to run an offense more efficiently. But I don't blame them. They haven't been able to develop a chemistry because we have no idea who our right guard was going to be until like last week. So give it time, it'll happen. Our tight ends can't block. That's not going to change. But we're not going to face D. I don't expect Lamar Miller to get 0.9 yards per carry. Yes, that was his average, 0.9 yards per carry against the Colts this weekend.
0.3. It was 0.3.
I thought it was 0.9, but whatever.
Either is awful.
Right.
Yes. My point is, give the offensive line some time. We're playing a pretty. I don't know if it's a bad D-line, but a not very stellar D-line with the Colts this week.
Oh, no, that's a bad D-line.
Right, that's a bad D-line. So, just give it. It'll get better. Now, will things struggle, when we face... Actually, I don't know. Do the Ravens really... we'll see. But anyways,
I didn't see that game, so I can tell you.
Give it time. That's what I'll say about the Dolphins.
And the other thing I was going to say with Mike Wallace, because he was very, very angry after that game.
Yeah, I mean, he's... Look,
fantasy owners and just the Mike Wallace situation.
His chemistry is going to take a while with Tannehill to develop. I heard it's been getting better. In week 3 of the preseason, they had 3 touchdowns. He had 3 straight completions from Tannehill one for a 33-yard touchdown. So they'll get there. But Mike Wallace's main role is to get Brian Hartline and Brandon Gibson more open, and it worked to a T. To a T on Sunday. Sunday was Brian Hartline's second best game of his career.
You would know that, but we don't.
Brian Hartline.
That's what I'm here. I'm here to inform the masses. I'm telling them that Matt Schaub's an elite quarterback. And
shut the fuck up, man.
Elite.
All right, hold on. So yeah, I just wanted to add that. But one last thing about the Texans. I promise this will be the last thing I say about them. I do think that they're very close to knocking on that Super Bowl door, and everyone questioned their quarterback and their coach as being 2 guys that don't really come through for the Texans when it matters in big game situations, and that's why they'll never get there. But if you ever needed evidence that might change, you got it Monday night. That was championship-level mentality to come back.
It's week 1. Shut the fuck up.
Against the Chargers, who collapsed.
And if they do that late in the season, then I'll be with you, kid. But it's week 1.
It's still, to come back from that much of a deficit.
In week 1.
It's never fucking easy. I don't care if it's preseason week 1.
God.
You just had to extend it. You could have just said, okay, and left it at that. But no, you had
to. Because it's not an okay. It's week 1. It was impressive, but let's calm down, kid. Shit.
No, I never even said this means they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm just saying.
He was like, that's championship level stuff. It's week 1 football. That's what it is.
What I was saying, my point was, if you wanted evidence, you have a little bit of it.
Yeah, a little bit. A tiny bit, like a drop.
Fuck
that's not evidence. That shit wouldn't hold up in court. If they were on the stand right now, it wouldn't hold up in court.
The simple fact that Kubiak did a fake punt inside their own 30.
But doesn't he always do shit like that, though?
His main criticism is that he's been too conservative late in games.
Didn't he do that in the playoffs a couple of times, do crazy shit and it didn't work out?
I don't think so. When they were getting murdered, not in a close game like that. But anyways, we'll just...
Yeah, move on.
It's just too early to tell if that meant anything at all, kid.
His love for the Texans is coming out in that one.
Hate you all.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
All right, but anyways, Markeem, lead the way now with Logan Thomas. You mad at me?
I want to go last.
All right, fine. I'll go first. The University of Miami had their biggest game in the past, the biggest win in the past.
I would say since the Orange Bowl win, way back then.
Yeah.
Biggest win.
Yeah, no, I would agree. It was incredible. I was at the game. It was absolutely amazing to watch. Stephen Morris and Duke Johnson both struggled. especially in the
Hold on.
third quarter.
He's gonna give you a fanboy perspective, and I'm gonna give you a real life perspective. All right, so go ahead.
Fuck off. But let me continue. They started very good at first. That Philip Dorsett touchdown was absolutely incredible to see, and Steven was looking really good then, and we scored on them, the team that everyone thought we couldn't score on. We knocked the shit out of their running backs, which caused the 2 fumbles. Which that's not on Jeff Driscoll sucking, because I had many UF fans over the past week say that we won with an asterisk because their quarterback is inept. Last I checked,
I'm going to get into that, but go ahead.
Last I checked, 2 of your fucking running backs fumbled the ball because they got knocked the living shit out of by our defenders. I don't think Jeff Driscoll had anything to do with that. And we were able to put up points on the defense that, quote-unquote, couldn't be scored on. Then in the third quarter, things kind of stalled. We had -3 yards of total offense. Duke had trouble getting around the edge, and Steven was being a little iffy. Play calling was kind of weird at times, too. There were, I think, 2 to 3 straight drives where we had 3 to 4 straight passing plays. No run input whatsoever. And I bitched about it, and then I saw Duke trying to run, and I was like, oh, shit. Maybe I shouldn't have bitched about it. Although Duke did have, 3 to 4 breakaway runs where he got, 10, 12 yards out of it. And he still finished the game with 80 total yards and a touchdown. And everyone talked about how terrible he played, but that's just how talented he is. 80 total yards and a touchdown, which is probably going to be the worst game he has all year. And there was that. And then the defense just looked the defense stopped an offense that everyone, including UM fans, called a terrible offense. So I'm not ready to say the defense is good all of a sudden, but they showed a lot of maturity, a lot of poise, made very, very great stops, made very, very great decisions. They didn't look like kids. They didn't look like young freshmen who didn't know what they were doing, or just new defensive schemes that they didn't understand, and people were throwing all over the place on us. They looked poised. They looked like they knew what they were doing, and they got the job done, and they came through. I was very happy with it. A lot of UM fans are calling our defense good again. I wouldn't say that, because you can't spend all week calling someone's offense terrible and then calling your defense good when their offense doesn't score. That's not how it works. But I was impressed. I'll say that. And I was ecstatic with the win. Huge win. Not just because the Gators, for those who don't know, we only play the Gators once every 5 years. And
this might be it, too.
And this might be it. Yes, the Gators don't have us on the schedule for the foreseeable future because they're bitches. But
no, it's because of what is it? The SEC and the ACC thing now.
Yeah.
The only game that's going to be left is Clemson and South Carolina, and that's because of the state. It's the only reason it still happens.
I'm going to say this, but my whole point is for pretty much 8 years, as UM started to fall and UF started to rise, many people in Miami, including some of my best friends that are Gators fans, constantly just told us, you guys are living in the past, you're not relevant anymore, stop talking shit. And even 10 minutes before the game started, one of my best friends in this world, called me. And he's like, I think it's laughable that you guys think you even have a chance. Not that we think we would win, that we even have a chance. And, man...
oh, yeah, that's laughable he called you and said
that guy was nowhere to be found afterwards.
Oh, my God. The amount of messages I wrote on my friends' walls on Facebook, just... so many messages, absolutely burying the Gators. That may be the most satisfying victory I've ever experienced in my life. Because just to be completely mental tortured for years and years and years about how your team isn't good anymore, and then to finally prove them wrong, it was incredible to see. So I was very happy with it. And now Markeem, tell me the football perspective and all that jazz.
I'll say this, man. Florida is not as good as they were last year. Sorry, kid.
Yeah, no. That's kind of obvious.
But I'm not gonna totally rain on your parade. With that being said, if y'all don't know, I pick UM because I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Not the boats, but But Jeff Driscoll is terrible in the red zone, and that team, as I told everybody, even though they struggled getting turnovers in the red zone last year, I was like, this is a year, it's a year later with kids that are phenomenal athletes in the secondary. They're going to get turnovers. And what happened? That is a good red zone defense. They might not be a good defense, but that is a I would go as far as to say a great red zone defense. Because Jeff Driscoll couldn't do a damn thing. Like, they got in the they were able to run all the way into the red zone. Remember the goal line stand at the end? Yeah, like, that's a great red zone defense. You know what I mean? And then they got turnovers. The one thing that bothered me, though, was some of those play calls on offense. Like, they just completely abandoned no huddle. Like, that bothered me. I was like, what's up with that? That's what was working, because Florida has a phenomenal defense. They do. And the fact that y'all were able to drop, 21 on them?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, against most teams, that's like 40 points. You know what I'm saying? So it all kind of works out. Jeff Driscoll showed me what he showed me last year, that he can run, but he's sporadic. Like, sometimes he'll do shit that make you go, wow, is that Tebow back there? And then other times, like, seriously. And then other times he'll be, Jeff Driscoll. Yep. Like, sometimes he'll be the guy that replaced Tebow. You know what I mean? Like, oh, that's not Tebow. That's just the guy after Tebow. He's AT after Tebow. That's what he is. But like that's what these years need to be called. Like, after Tebow left in 2010.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be called AT now. Like, Florida
after
2000.
Tebow.
Yeah, like, how we do like BC AD, it needs to be called like 2013 AT. Like, that's what Florida needs to call. Like, everything they do now. But yeah, like, that was a good win, man. And I think that anybody trying to raid on Miami's parade is ridiculous, because I told y'all in the college football preview, all their games are winnable on their schedule. Their toughest game, they just won.
Yep.
just think about that. When it comes down to the end of the season, and they're in the title game, the ACC title game, and they got like one loss or maybe even undefeated, y'all are going to be like, wow, Markeem knew what he was talking about. Look at the schedule. Look at the schedule.
Although I won't lie, if we play Clemson in the ACC title game, that one might be tough.
We'll see. I'll talk more about them later. But
yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah, but that was huge though, kid. I'm not gonna rain on your parade. That was huge. I'm not gonna. And I hate Miami, but that was fun online. It was fun to watch.
Here's
and only touchdown is that garbage time. Garbage time they scored that touchdown.
Yeah.
Like,
it was after we went up 21-9.
Yeah, so who cares? Score was closer than it actually. They got dominated. So I'm going to say Florida got dominated. So anybody that wants to, here's a rant real quick. Anybody that wants to say the SEC is so superior, 2 weeks in a row, Georgia goes to Clemson and gets dominated for the most part. Florida got thoroughly humiliated. In Miami, they got humiliated. Jeff Driscoll couldn't do a thing.
Well, according to everybody, Florida was clearly the better team, and if it wasn't for their idiot quarterback, they should have won the game. That's all I've heard all week.
And you don't watch college football. I remember Kirk Herbstreit, like the one tweet he's ever responded to me, even though I always put him over. I'm like, giving Miami a shot. He was like, I like Miami. They just can't win. I was like, okay, guy. Oh, okay. Like, and I'm always putting them over. I'm always saying that's the best guy on TV talking college football.
I want to throw a few stats your guys' way. First off, only 2 teams last year scored more on Florida than we did. That was FSU and Louisville, and both of them were the last 2 games of the season after Florida was out of play for a national title. And whatchamacallit, one of them was against the best quarterback in the country. Here's another stat for you. Florida has put up, that was the 1, 2, 3. That was the 4th lowest amount of points Florida has scored in the past 2 years.
Think about that.
Yeah. And that's against.
But the SEC is so big, and so whatever, man.
It's still,
whatever.
I mean, I made a.
Stan, how much freaking time I gotta hear it. Like, it makes me not even want to be a fan of an SEC team.
Like this is proof. Like, anytime somebody does, it's like, well, explain Miami, Florida. Like, they got beat upon.
They'll never get it, Marquine. They'll never get it.
Phil, I want
and of course, I had to eat my words. Thanks, Notre Dame, by the way. Thanks, Dame.
Me and Marquine talked about that a lot in the college preview.
Thanks, Nick Saban.
That we could, we said this, like, we could, like, the ACC And the Big 10 and the Big 12, the Pac-12, the Big East, they could all go like 25-0 against the SEC. But if Bama wins the national title again, it's just going to keep going. These people are still going to say the same shit.
Especially here. I don't know about everyone else, but.
All right, so speaking of there, SoCal, Phil.
SoCal.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So far.
Southern California. Oh, man. This, honestly, deep down, if I can admit this, deep down, I was like, man, as soon as Clemson beat them, I was like, you know what's going to happen? Carolina fans, because all my friends are saying, they're like, oh, they're talking smack on Facebook and talking smack in person to Clemson fans. They're like, oh, well, if y'all beat them, we're going to cream them. And I'm like, shut up. The game's in Georgia. Aaron Murray plays better in Georgia. And I knew I was going to eat my words because I said, Aaron Murray, you suck. Like during the Clemson game, I'm like, you suck.
Yeah, hold on, Phil. Before you get started, I got to apologize to Aaron Murray. Like that was big time. That game was big. Like he played. That was a Heisman statement. Like real shit. Like that's one of those signature performances. What he did on Saturday, he was incredible. And like for real, like one of the best performances I've seen against a good college defense in my life. To be honest with you, like he was incredible. I can't even lie. Incredible.
He was nuts. The dude played outstanding. I can't knock him at all. But I did expect this game to be close, and so when it was close early, I knew it. I knew it was going to be close because I knew Georgia was going to come. I mean, they're at home. Aaron Murray and the whole Georgia team looked scared in Clemson, which was a crazy environment. I know anyway, but they looked scared. I knew they were going to play totally different, and it was true. It came down to just like, can we stop Aaron Murray? And our defense just couldn't do anything, it seemed like. I'm not knocking Clowney. Clowney, they did everything that Georgia, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was like a clip on ESPN where they showed like different plays back to back of why Clowney wasn't able to get to Murray. It's like Clowney got free a couple times, but Murray was able to. They always had that play where Murray would get the ball out, or they were going to the different side, or they would.
Or Marshall or Gurley were like there, like waiting to meet him. Yeah, I saw that.
So it's like, Georgia played perfect. They played Clowney perfect, and they played Carolina perfect. So I have to first tip off my hat to them. Second of all, as far as Carolina goes, this maybe we actually win this division this year because the last 2 years we've lost the division and we beat Georgia. So I don't know. We'll see what happens there. But as far as the game, I mean, Davis is really good. He's getting there at place last year.
Breaking up, Phil.
I'm breaking up.
Yeah. You're a little bit better, but still kind of breaking up.
Oh, okay, sorry. I guess I'll just keep going. But what was I gonna say? Well, I mean, Davis. Like I said, Davis is really coming along. I think the defense has just got to. The defense is the reason for that game. Like the defense has got to play better. But then it's like Shaw. On the offensive side, when you got Connor Shaw, he wanted, if he didn't have anybody open, which I understand if they're not open, not to throw an interception, but he overthrew them, or when he threw them, they couldn't catch the ball. One play wide.
Or he take a dumb sack. He runs backwards way too much, man.
Or he just run. Like, it's like, well, I know one play. He made me eat my words on one play where I was like, Connor Shaw, quit running. And then he ran like a great game. But it's like, it seems like he just bails a lot. I understand if they're not open, they're not open. But it's just like he thinks he's like this all-star runner, it seems like. And it just gets on my nerves at times. But anyways, it's like, and then the receivers, he throw the one was missed in the end zone. He dropped it in the end zone. I can't remember who dropped that one. And then on offense, or on one play, apparently the receiver saw it and was looking at the sun, or I don't know, but he should have caught the ball. So it's just one of those games. Nothing was going to go. I mean, nothing. Right.
Oh, you didn't talk about Spurrier, man. That play call at the end.
The goal line.
Oh gosh, God! Oh, don't even. You remind me of that play. First of all, they went to the goal line earlier in the game, and I'm like, I told my friend, I looked at my friend, I'm watching it with a bunch of my friends from that are Gamecocks fans, and I'm like, option. Call the option here. Call the option. It's going to work. What happens? They call the option and it works. Touchdown. Then on the 1 yard line at the end of the game, and the one time I'm like, don't call the option, Spurrier. Don't call the. What does he do?
Or at least do it on 3rd down. Don't do it on 4th down, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Like, QB, sneak that sucker, dude. Like, I hate to sound like, come on, you got to QB sneak it or do something different. Like, or let him, like you said, I think, Markeem, like, let Connor Shaw, like, play action or something.
Yeah, just don't do that, because, like, when you pitch the ball, that's even further away from the fucking goal line. Like,
that's way too much out of Mike Davis to get to do that. Like, come on. Like, you can't expect him to go make a play like that.
I can't wait till Spurrier gets a quarterback, though, man.
Yeah, I know you said that on Twitter, and I agree. But Dylan Thompson's got a great – and that's another thing, too. I want to go off on Carolina fans, too. And this is going to my friends that were at the game or at the party where we watched it. But it's like Connor Shaw would do one bad thing. Well, we need Dylan Thompson back in. Now, what happens if he comes in and throws something bad? You want Connor Shaw back? Like, come on. Like, have faith in your guy. You got to live and die.
Thompson's a better passer, but, like, right. Shaw is a better player.
But that's what
it's kind of – I don't know. It's like a double-edged sword.
Right. Well, at least Connor Shaw, like, as much as I don't like, I feel like he does run way too much at times. But at least if the play breaks down and he has nobody open, he can try to make a play himself. Dylan Thompson, if it's not open, there you go. Sack or pick or something. So it's like, at least I like the guy that can do both. But anyways, like I said, hopefully this means we can somehow win the division this year now, because we lose to Georgia after the last few years. We beat Georgia and
Georgia wins the division.
Right. So, and as far as people that think, well, where was Clowney? I hear stupid Clemson fans already like, oh, Clowney, where was Clowney?
He had a sack, a tackle for loss, and 6 knockdowns. Yeah. What the fuck are they talking about?
Exactly.
Did they watch that game?
They didn't watch the game.
Aaron Murray was a beast, man. Like, he was like just balling.
They just did. Georgia did what they had to do to avoid him. I was like, they played him well, and he still got what he got. So it's like, some people just ain't there. I mean, you know how it is that he has to get like 8 sacks to even be noticed. So.
No, he has to have that one. Not even sacks. He has to have that
hit.
Hit, right?
That hit in a game that he wasn't even that good in.
Like, he messed it up for himself though. Like he kind of talked a lot of shit this offseason.
Yeah, he did. Well, he talked a lot of crap on Aaron Murray too, so he ate that. But we'll see what it is. I'll be at the Vandy game this week, so I'm looking forward to that. But.
Awesome.
In Columbia again, Phil, and I won't get to hang with you? Come on, Phil.
I know.
Hang, man.
I know. You gonna go to the game too?
I might. I don't know.
Well, Markeem, it is now your time. Your precious Virginia Tech Aggies.
Okay, let me share my weekend experience for y'all. Right. So I went to Dragon Con August 31st weekend. If y'all don't know, that's like it's like Comic-Con, except more so with like video games, art, card games, and stuff. Y'all know I'm a geek. If y'all don't know I'm a sports fan, I'm also a geek. And I'm having the time of my life. And then I look at the clock and I'm like, fuck, I got these tickets to this Virginia Tech game. It's 2:00. I spent $120 on these tickets. I figured, okay, let me go stand in line. I might as well go. Even though we're going to get killed, I might as well go. So, I go, first off, parking was a bitch. Like, how much we paid? I think it was $20 to park. It was ridiculous. So we parked, because we couldn't park across the street because all those fucking spaces were filled too. People were thinking what we were thinking. So we had to park in the Georgia Dome. Yeah, if y'all been to the Georgia Dome, y'all know that parking lot is not very forgiving. And like, it's so many levels to it. You've been to the Dome, right, Phil?
What?
Like, you've been to the Georgia Dome, right?
Yeah.
So you know how that parking lot is, how it's those layers, and it's not very forgiving.
Right.
It's all those barricades and shit, and it's easy to get lost, and It's ridiculous. So we finally parked, and I hadn't eaten anything all day. And I went to go get a cheeseburger. And I checked my Twitter page, and I see the kid. He DMs me, "You ready for that ass whooping?" And I'm like, "Oh God." I'm like waiting for my cheeseburger. I'm ready for whatever happens. Now, as I'm standing in line, lo and behold, Bruce Smith walks past me, and he's like, "Yeah, he ordering his food." And I'm like, "You look familiar." And he was like, "Do I?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "You're a big guy. Did you play football?" He was like, "Yeah, I kind of did." And then my cousin Andre, he walks up. He was like, "Hey, man, that's Bruce Smith. what up, nigga? And he was like, oh, shit, man, I used to love Bruce Smith. He played for the Hokies. I was like, yeah, I know he played for the Hokies. I just didn't recognize him. I've only seen him like twice without his helmet. So that was cool. That was the coolest thing about that whole experience. So I finally sit down. We get the ball first. Logan Thomas, 3 and out, like I expect. We punt. First punt of the game. All the way the other way. Like, just return all the way back. Nobody even I forget who it was, but nobody even touches him. You know what I mean? And
Christian Jones?
Christian Jones. And then at that moment, I go, let's get the fuck out of here. Like, I look right at my cousin, and I go, let's just go. Like, I don't want to do this. Let me talk about the positives, okay?
Did you leave for real or no?
No, I stayed and watched the whole game. I stayed. Let me talk about the positives. I liked our defense. Like, I thought we played very well. I thought that, A.J. McCarron wasn't able to get what he wanted all the time. T.J. Yeldon struggled, you know what I mean? And but a lot of that has to do with that offensive line being the first time they played together. That was the first time they ever played together. Like, that entire – minus 2 people, the other 3 guys, that's the first time ever on the field. So, at the college level. So, that's all that was. But I thought – as a whole, we played well defensively. Logan Thomas is bottom 5 in college football. I'm dead serious. In terms of accuracy, bottom 5. Y'all know in the first half, this dude was 5 for 21.
Yeah, I heard that stat line.
What?
And he got up to 5 to 25, if I remember correctly, at one point.
What? No, like that's unacceptable for high school football.
It's unacceptable for middle school football.
For middle school, dude, like he's missing people that are like wide open, throwing screen passes over people's heads, holding on to the ball, taking stupid ass sack. Like, don't get me wrong, Alabama has the best defense in the country. By the end of the season, this might be the best defense we've ever seen. You know what I mean? But he's so bad. If we had somebody decent, I really believe this game wouldn't have been as lopsided as it looked. He is the single biggest reason why that game looked so hopeless, because he's that bad. We have a good offensive line. We're not bad on offensive line at all. We need to find out our identity, like who's going to be our running back, who's going to be our starter. I mean, we just don't know at this point.
What was that dude's name? Tracy Edwards?
Yeah, Tracy Edwards. We've been throwing like wide receivers in there. That
was impressive, that run, if nothing else.
But we don't know who's going to be the starter. Running back. It's total disarray from that point. But the reason why that game was so ugly was simply fucking Logan Thomas. I was like, I'm missing like, yo, do y'all realize? All right, here's me being a nerd for a second. John Barrowman, who plays Malcolm Merlin on the show Arrow. If y'all don't know, Arrow is the TV show based on Green Arrow. Malcolm Merlin is like Green Arrow's Joker for the most part. Let's put it like that. He was doing his panel while I was at the game. And I was like, I really want to meet this guy because, he was doing his second panel of the weekend. And I was like, I really wanted to meet him because I like the show and I think he's great on there. And spoilers if you've never seen the show, he supposedly died. The last episode. It's kind of unclear. I was going to try and like milk it out of him. Like, hey, did you really die? You know what I mean? But I couldn't even do that because I was there watching Logan Thomas stink it up. And I was like, can you please just like take me back to the fucking hotel so I can go watch Malcolm Merlin? Because I don't want to see this. I don't want to see this. Like, it was the worst performance I've ever seen in my life. Like, wow. I'm talking about like in person. Like in person, worst performance I'm talking about like anything. Like concert, sports event, wrestling match. What's other shit I've seen live? Political debates. Children plays. You know what I mean? I want to go see my nephew who's 3 years old. He had a play. Like they did what they do, Johnny Appleseed. And he was like one of Johnny Appleseed's friends. And he didn't know any of his lines. And he was better than Logan Thomas. It was ridiculous, dog. Like I've never seen one person be that counterproductive. Real shit. Like every positive thing we did, he totally fucked it up. And then the one positive, like he had a nice little run. Well, actually, he had a long run. But yeah, minus that, he didn't do anything else. Fuck that guy. And anybody that thought he was a top 3 quarterback that year, what was it, last year when they was like, oh yeah, he might be better than Barkley, he might be better than Geno, and he's better than no one. He's a practice squad player at the NFL level. And you know the guy that had helped Cam Newton with his mechanics, and Ben Roethlisberger and Johnny Manziel, Andrew Luck, and all, I forget his name, but they did like a big segment about him on College Game Day. He trained with this guy, and y'all see all the names I said, right? Yeah. And he's like nowhere near any of those dudes. Fuck this guy, man. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. I'm done. I'm done with him. The day he graduates will be the greatest day in the modern era of Virginia Tech football. Greater than when Michael Vick led us to the national championship. Because now I feel like we can win again. Like when he's gone, I feel like maybe we can compete now. Because we can't. We got this dude running the offense. I'm done.
Wow.
Damn.
I'm like upset. Like my heart's like racing now. Let's just move on. Like fuck that dude, man. Like he's one of those guys. Like remember when Matt Castle got hurt a few years ago, and the Chiefs fans were cheering? Yeah. And I was like, oh, y'all shouldn't do that. That's sad. Logan Thomas went down. I cheer. I'm gonna be real.
Real hate right there.
He's terrible. No, he's terrible. He's terrible.
Wow.
Bottom 5. Remember how I said when we did our preview kid, we was talking about Michigan State. I was like, if Andrew Maxwell plays a little bit better, they'll be able to play with anyone.
Yeah.
Andrew Maxwell is better than Logan Thomas.
Wow.
At the college level. At period. Fuck it, period. He's better than Logan Thomas.
And the sad thing is, Matt Miller, NFL draft scout, he tweeted during that game, he tweeted like going into last season, Logan Thomas was his number 1 quarterback. And now Logan Thomas is his number 22 quarterback.
There you go.
And he said, but you know what the sad thing is? I got a call from a general manager today that told me he wouldn't mind using an early round draft pick on Logan because he thinks he can fix him.
No, there is no fixing that dude. His mechanics suck. His mind sucks. Like he's athletic. He's athletic and tall. That's it. That is all. He's terrible. Horrible.
The day he graduated would be the happiest day in modern Virginia Tech history.
Because now we can start winning again.
Is this his last year, or
this is his last year?
He almost left after last year.
And you saw it happen. We talked about it on the show. I was like, oh my God, he's leaving.
Right.
then he announced on ESPNU, and I watched it, and it was like Logan Thomas rescinded his NFL draft eligibility, and now he's here to decide. Talks about his decision whether he's staying or going. I was glued to the TV watching college football live. I was like, man. And he called in. I was like, say you're leaving. Say you're leaving so I can be okay. Say you just had to do that because you were thinking about it and you talked to your parents and they was like, go get that money. Say that. And then he was like, well, I decided to come back. We still have a lot to do. I'm like, no, you don't have anything to do. You have nothing to do but leave. That's all you can do for us. Get out of here. He's worthless. Worthless.
That's awesome.
I don't know what type of person he is, but as a football player, worthless.
See, this is the stuff that I missed. Oh my God. And we still have to talk about Kiffin later on.
Oh my shit, God. I forgot all about that.
Don't worry. Here, calm down. You need to save some of that energy for later on. Anyways, that concludes Markeem's analysis on Virginia Tech.
Hold on. But the game was a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Like the experience was fun. I saw a bunch of people I hadn't seen in years. That was cool. And who was there? Darwin Cook, famous like comic book artist. He was at the game, and we had like a long conversation where he buried DC Comics. That was great. So yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
Nice.
It was fun. It was fun.
And just so you know, I'm looking at Virginia Tech's schedule. The sad thing is they very well could only lose like one more game the rest of the season.
Clemson, right? Any Clemson?
No,
Clemson and you guys.
They don't play Clemson.
Yeah, we play you guys. Yeah,
you
play
us, and you play us in Miami, but they don't play Clemson. You legitimately might finish the season 10-2.
No, we won't.
Yeah, you never know.
Oh, I know Logan Thomas. That's why I know.
Hey, man.
We could have did that. Do you know how talented we were last year?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Let's move on.
Hey, man, Logan Thomas against West Carolina University. had 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions.
God. And I watched that whole game. You talking about last year, right?
No, West Carolina University?
Yeah, last year, right?
No, I'm talking about last week.
I thought we had a bye.
You guys won 45-3.
You sure?
I'm looking at it right now. Looking on ESPN.
Oh, see, I was so out of it, I didn't even care. That's
Well,
how bad it pissed me off. I didn't even care.
No worries. You guys got East Carolina this week.
We're losing, and we're going to lose.
Wow.
I'm going to go ahead and ruin that, but go ahead.
All right, well, we're going to get to that later. But anyways, moving on. Damn, it took a lot. All right, now we're just going to talk about the large state, the top teams right now in the NFL, the top teams right now in college football, break them down a little bit, and giving our analysis and all that. Right now, in the NFL, it's still very early. That's why I'll say them first.
That's very early, period. So.
No, but in college football, I mean...
It's still early, man.
You still know some things. But we'll just talk about seasonal prospects and all this and that. In the NFL, we only have like 4 teams. College football, we have a few more. But we'll just talk about the state of the team and all this and that. NFL, Broncos, Peyton Manning, 7 touchdowns. Looked incredible. Markeem, start us off. What do you think they can do and all this stuff?
I didn't see the game, but until like the last 2 minutes. And because I saw the score. Because before I left, I was like, oh, well, they're not really doing much. I had to go do something. And when I came back, I was like, what happened? It was 40-something to 27 or some shit like that. Yeah, I was like, how did this happen? And then you tweeted me, and you was like 6 touchdowns, no interceptions. And right when you said they threw another one, he was like, my bad, 7. That's numbers-wise, it might be the best game ever, by a quarterback.
Yeah.
Maybe by an NFL player. Take that back.
Why?
The 298-yard game AP had.
Oh yeah.
There's been a few. The 330-yard reception game that who was that?
Someone had 330 yards receiving?
Yeah, that's the record.
And was this recent?
No, this is the 80s. Rams player, forget his name.
Jerry? No, it's not Jerry. Hold on, I'll look it up. Keep talking.
And I'm reasonably sure that's the record, or something crazy like that. It's a few. Didn't Jerry Rice have 22 receptions in a game too, or some shit like that?
Yeah, he did.
It's up there with all of those, though.
Yes, definitely.
So I mean, what's up? Go ahead.
No, continue. I thought I had something I didn't.
Yeah, look up the yards record. I'm pretty sure it's 330 though. Something.
W. Anderson. I don't know his first name.
Oh, you found it?
Yeah, I found it on.
Did he play for the Rams?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Rams.
Yeah.
It's W. Anderson. I don't know his first name. It was 336 yards.
Ridiculous.
Damn.
But yeah, and I didn't see the game, so I can't really comment much. But that game was incredible. I told y'all, man, they're gonna be unstoppable. Who the fuck? What you gonna do, man? Eric Decker, Demaryius Thomas, Wes Welker, all on the field at the same. What the fuck are you gonna do against that? That's unstoppable. Somebody's gonna be open every play. It's ridiculous.
Flipper Anderson.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. And Phil, you got anything to add to that other than Broncos are amazing?
Patriots are amazing, but no, I think that man, it made my pick. It made me more comfortable with my pick. I'm like, yay, this is awesome. Even though I don't want the Broncos to go, but anyway, it's Peyton Manning. What can you say? I think the Ravens defense clearly needs help. And clearly is missing Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. So we'll see.
I think.
But obviously, I think the Broncos just proved why I think they're the best team in the AFC right now. So.
I think they're the best team in the NFL. That's just me, but
it's either them or the Niners right now. The Niners also look hella impressive, but yeah, no, that's definitely true. And the Broncos played like that without fucking what's his name, Von Miller. That's the scary part.
And Champ Bailey.
And no Champ Bailey either.
Yeah, that is right. Yeah, he was in his street clothes. That's all.
It's just there's no. I'm not gonna throw out 07 Patriots comparisons like everyone else does. It's not like I think they're gonna have a perfect season, but I would be shocked if they lost more than 2 games. I'm just being real. possibly including the postseason. Like, I would be so stunned if they didn't go at least 14-2, 15-1.
I agree.
They went 13-3 last year, and they added Wes Welker. And
Don't remind me.
This is like this reminds me of '98 Vikings, though.
Yeah.
Like that. This team is with a better quarterback.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Demaryius Thomas is Randy Moss or anything. I'm not doing that. But this team, the way this team is put together, '98 Vikings, it's kind of crazy.
It's scary. I mean, very.
Well, let's hope they have a different outcome. But
yes. Unfortunately, the greatest team to ever won. Actually, the second best team to never win a Super Bowl. Behind
who's the first? Oh,
18-1.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I had to find an excuse to mention that. 18-1.
And my boy Moss was on both teams.
Oh my God! I just realized that. That's horrible.
If they ever invent time travel, you know what I'm doing.
Well, anyways,
running up on JPP. No, he wasn't on that team. Running up
Lock Eli Manning in a lock.
Running up on him with a crowbar or something.
David Kyrie is getting in the same locker.
You're going to tie your heart in all of them? Just take out all their knees?
God damn it. But I also would I don't have much to add. Obviously, the Broncos look incredible. I'm very curious about the defense, though. Flacco was with a very anemic offense. They had Torrey Smith, who was being triple covered. Then Jacoby Jones got hurt. And so he was left with Ed Dixon, who isn't that good. And that was about it. They had to rely on Dallas Clark and Brandon Stokely the whole game.
And I love Dallas Clark, but he's a little fat and a little old now.
It's not fucking 2002.
Yeah.
Why are Dallas Clark and Brandon Stokely? Brandon Stokely has legitimately been in the NFL since 1996, and he's an offensive player that's not a quarterback. That's nearly fucking impossible. Like, I think that Dennis Pitta thing hurt them a lot more than people realize. Not because he was like a superstar or anything, but man, whenever it was third down and they needed someone to like make the conversion, he was always there. He always got open. And he wasn't like, the best tight end in the NFL or anything, but he was a weapon. When I made the argument that Flacco had so many weapons in that Super Bowl, with Torrey Smith's incredible speed and Pitta's ability to get open, Jacoby Jones' incredible speed, and Anquan Bolden's ability just to be a great receiver, none of those guys are really I don't think any of them are really Hall of Famers, but you can make an argument for Bolden. But they're all weapons. And when you have all of them in one offensive system, it's just deadly. And they're all gone. They're all gone. Jacoby Jones is hurt. And, Torrey Smith this week plays Joe Hayden. Joe Hayden took out Mike Wallace, and Mike Wallace is just as fast, if not faster, than Torrey Smith is.
He's better. He's better in every way than Torrey Smith. And I like Torrey Smith, but he's better.
So what happens this week? Who are the Ravens going to rely on? Dallas Clark, Ed Dixon, Brandon Stokely, I guess Marlon Brown. I don't want to be that guy, but I really do think that. I don't want to make this really about the Ravens, but I really do think in a few years, maybe not even a few years, maybe in a year or two, you'll have the mainstream media asking, should Joe Flacco's contract be shortened? And it won't be his fault, but they're going to have a tough time rebuilding everything.
They might talk about his contract like they talk about A-Rod's.
Because at least, look, guys, answer this truthfully. If people call me a Flacco hater, he's a great quarterback. He's just really inconsistent in the regular season.
He's really inconsistent, period.
Yes.
In general.
Period. When you pay Brady, Rodgers, Breeze, and Peyton Manning $20 million, would you all agree that simply having them on your team takes you deep into the playoffs?
Yeah. Or at least instantly makes you a lot better.
Yes. Right. Can you see that for Flacco?
Can you say that about Flacco?
No.
If you threw Flacco right now on the Browns, would they be a better team?
No.
No. You threw Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning on, Drew Brees, they'd be better.
And that's what's
hell. You throw Matt Ryan on the Browns, they'd be a lot better.
Oh yeah, definitely. Hell, man, if you throw Matt Schaub on,
shut the fuck up, man.
Well, I'm just saying, I really do think this Ravens team is in for a rough few years.
Everything gets turned to the Ravens. It seems like in all these things.
Whatever, we're moving on now. But anyways, I want to mix together. We already talked about the Texans a lot. We only have 3 teams left, and I want to group 2 of them together. The 49ers and the Seahawks, like the battle of the NFC West. The 49ers looked really good. Colin Kaepernick looked incredible. I know it was against the Packers, but like,
boy, you talk about another person I was wrong about. I was like, he can't throw. He just didn't throw. I didn't know he could throw. Good God, man.
400 passing yards. Like, it's
Jesus.
It's crazy. And so the Seahawks didn't look as impressive, but they have a lot of hype going into the season, and I really think they're going to pick up a lot of steam as the year rolls out. But Phil, just what are your thoughts on those 2 teams and how they're looking based on what happened this past weekend?
Well, I think I missed both those games, obviously, because Panthers Seahawks was going on as the Pats and Bills game. But Seahawks, I mean, winning, they had, Carolina was leading for a little while in that game. So not that Carolina's a bad team, but I expected a little more from Seattle. But I feel like I'm with you on there. I think they will pick it up. And Seattle's not necessarily that team that's should go out there and destroy teams either. So I'm not saying I expect that. Get the win and move forward. So. As far as that's really not much about them. As far as San Fran, I wish I could have seen that. I was following it on my phone. It's like Green Bay would score, and then San Fran would score, and it's like I wish I could have seen that game. Markeem can vouch for more on that, but I mean, San Fran is what I thought they would be. I think as far as I know, I remember picking them to beat Green Bay. So top 2 teams, and San Fran went out and got it done. Did not expect Kaepernick to do that well, but. I mean, we'll see. Niners are the best team in.
But they should have kept Alex Smith, Phil. They should have kept Alex Smith. And anybody that says that now, please kindly shut the fuck up and eat a dick. Real shit.
Yeah, that says something. Markeem, Niners, Seahawks.
Phil, you had anything else to add?
No, that's it. I mean, really, they're what I thought. They, both teams are nothing shocks me or anything like that.
I'm a little shocked that the Seahawks couldn't move the ball on the Panthers.
Well, I mean, right. I mean, just the fact
Luke
they could.
Kuechly.
I mean, maybe the Panthers deep because they got. I told y'all, everybody that thank you. Everybody that said Sharif Floyd and what was the guy from Missouri that I didn't even hear of?
Sheldon Richardson.
I didn't even hear of him until the fucking bowl game. I was like, I didn't even know who this dude was. But dog. Star Lutatelay, whatever. I just call him Star. Star is the best defensive tackle that I saw since Vince Wilfork, dog. Like at the college level. At the college level, that dude was ridiculous. Dog, let me throw a stat out for you, all right? He missed 1 game last year. As a team, Utah gave up about 70 yards rushing a game last year. That's what they averaged. The 1 game he missed, they gave up 150. Think about that. What? Think about that. Think about that shit. They are so much better with that guy. Like, people will see. The stats won't show it because defensive tackles don't get numbers like that.
Right.
But people, like, when it's all said and done, the best defensive player in this draft was Star Lutatelay. Simple as that. He was. But, yeah, like, I still thought Seattle would do a little bit more than that, though, like on offense. Defensively, though, completely just destroyed Cam Newton. Like, destroyed him. So they kind of are what I thought. And the Niners and the Packers had a phenomenal game. I think that people aren't giving the Packers enough credit. Well, Aaron Rodgers enough. We'll get to that, but they ain't giving him enough credit for that game. So, but the Niners are incredible, man. I thought their defense didn't play like everyone is acting like they did, but it is what it is.
They also did play a bad man.
That we'll get there. We'll get there.
We'll get there. But yeah, no, I was very impressed with the 49ers. Like, Colin Kaepernick I was one of those people that thought he might, not that he did, I don't really believe in the sophomore slump because the reality is not many franchise quarterbacks have really had one. Cam only had it for the first half of the season. I think Pete Prisco said it best, people don't realize it, but Cam, the second half of the season last year, played just as good as Cap, RG3, Andrew Luck, and Russell Wilson. For sure. They went
he was balling. Like, he was like, you could argue like top 5 in the league, like the last 8-9 games of the season. He was balling, man.
He went like 7-1. People forget they started off the season like going 1-6, 1-7. They finished 7-9. He's looking incredible. And so, I mean, but I did think Cap would struggle a little bit just because I thought their offensive package was so specific. But man, even if it was against the Packers, throwing for 400 yards, I was just like, what?
He can throw. He can throw, son.
I mean, I knew he could, but I didn't think they'd. Like, come on, that guy had 1 touchdown in the red zone last year passing. Like, I knew he wasn't going to be putting up Tim Tebow accuracy numbers.
And can we just say it? Clay Matthews is overrated, son. Can we just say the shit? Can we just establish that he's overrated? He is. No, he's terrible. He's terrible in open field and against the run. He's a phenomenal pass rusher. That's it. I was gonna say that during the Texas game when Brian Cushing had that, because they played together at USC, and I thought then that Cushing was a better all-around player than Matthews. I still do. Just me.
No, I can understand. Definitely.
No, it's true. It's not. No, it's true. It's facts.
Okay. I wasn't arguing with you. Stop being so mean to me.
But because Clay Matthews has long, flowy hair and he's an attractive guy and he's in a bunch of commercials, people have this like people actually trying to argue this dude's the best. I know Cushing plays middle linebacker. He plays outside linebacker. But essentially, he's nothing but one of these rush dudes that these glorified defensive ends. Like, being honest with you, that's what he is. I mean, I know that's the game now, but I'm saying as a linebacker, like people like to try and act like he is, he's overrated.
Damn, very unpopular opinion there. But
and I don't give a fuck who cares, who anybody. Yeah, I know he's gonna have 100 tackles. That's because he plays linebacker. That's what linebackers do. Shitty linebackers get 100 tackles.
Carlos Dansby, who I like, got 100 tackles last year, and we cut his ass.
No, that's the nature of the position. I don't want to hear that. I mean, when it comes to actually making plays that aren't sacks, he's overrated. Period.
But hey, man, him and Nnamdi, man, they were on top of the world 2 years ago.
They don't do that. Don't disrespect Clay Matthews like that. Like, even though I said he's overrated, don't disrespect that man.
Nnamdi got that money for a reason. He wasn't terrible with Oakland.
Nnamdi was. I'm not going to start again.
He was also in the. Well, never mind. We won't do this tonight. We'll do this later.
All right.
Wait, how did Nnamdi do in that game? I didn't watch it, because I missed it.
Does he
didn't do a thing. I told you he was the most overpaid statue in football.
I just think it was the Eagles thing, but I guess he
he didn't do anything. I mean, he wasn't bad, but he didn't do shit.
Does he start?
No, but he plays a lot though.
Okay.
But he didn't do anything.
Yeah. Nnamdi Asomugha. Man, what a big deal he used to be. But anyways.
Used to be the best corner.
Oh, my God.
The Niners. Can you just say you were wrong now? Can we just say it? Move on.
Say that, because at the time, he was the best.
Look, I know it's week one. But, I mean, week 1 of last year, when the Niners beat the Packers, we all came on here and we said the 49ers are the best team in the NFL. And they went to the Super Bowl. It's not. True. Are we supposed to just ignore what Kaepernick did just because it was early? Like, no, it was impressive. Very impressive. And, I was very, very, very cool to see that. But yeah, I like the Niners a lot. I considered changing my Super Bowl pick, or even my NFC Championship game, which right now is Seahawks-Packers. It's not Seahawks-Niners. But I'm keeping it the way it is for now just because I really trust the Seahawks to be something special. Just because, like I said on the show with Phil last week, when you have a quarterback that's as good as Russell Wilson, that's making as little money as Russell Wilson's making, it's the anti-Joe Flacco. You have so much money to build the rest of the team. That's why they were able to bring in like Cliff Avril, Michael Bennett, Percy Harvin, Antoine Winfield, even though Winfield's retiring. Like, why do you think they could do this? The team was already a borderline Super Bowl contender. And then they just had an incredible offseason because Russell Wilson is making like $600,000 a year or whatever it is. Like, it's just... I have high hopes for this team. Do you want to know why Brady won 3 Super Bowls? 6th-round draft pick. His contract was super cheap. That's why they got to build the rest of the team. But anyways, very impressed with the Niners. And finally, we'll close with the NFL portion of the top teams section with the Green Bay Packers. I'll very quickly say I originally had them as my Super Bowl, but like I said, I trust the Seahawks a lot. But they are very, very underrated. They're nowhere near getting the love they deserve. I really do think Aaron Rodgers is due time. I think his second ring is coming soon. I don't know if it'll be this year. I don't know if it'll be next year, but I think it'll be really, really soon. And Yeah, people got to stop underrating them. And they actually have a competent running back there now. Like I said, with teams like the Lions, even though they're not going to run with Reggie, they're just going to throw to him all day. Teams like the Lions and the Packers, when you're throwing 60 times a game, why are you all of a sudden going to throw 35 and run 25? I don't see that happening. I still don't think these teams aren't going to give their running backs enough carries. But the fact that they have someone that's competent enough to get them in good down to distance situations is encouraging. And they made it very far in the playoffs last year without him. So I have high hopes for the Packers. I think they're nowhere near getting the love they deserve. And I expect them to go to the NFC Championship game. I expect big things from them. Marky? I guess Phil.
Who you want to go, Phil? Or?
Yeah, Phil, go first so you can close.
Real quick. I mean, I think the Packers are still, the Packers. I think they'll be what they are. I mean, I don't think losing that game means. I mean, they lost to who I would say is the best team in the NFC, and possibly in the NFL. So, losing that game is just, you lose. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So I would say the Packers are still where I thought they were, probably about second or third best in the NFC.
That's why I think motherfuckers are kind of, as great as I thought the Niners look, I think people are kind of like going overboard with their performance. It's not like they killed the Packers though. It's not what happened. It's not what happened. But that offensive line is still awful. Every play that game, and I watched every play, just about every play that was more than a 3-step drop. Aaron Rodgers was running for his life, dog. Like, come on. I know this defensive line is incredible. I know this, but come on, man. Like, this man is constantly moving. He always has to do everything, man, and he still balled out. I'm just saying, like, I just don't. I'm high on them because Aaron Rodgers is that great, but I don't see them doing much different than what they did last year. To be honest,
last year they almost got. Last year, they were one game away from the NFC Championship game.
Yeah, but they got smashed.
I'm just saying. I'm predicting them to go one step further. I don't think that's too ridiculous.
Yeah, but I don't see it, man. I don't see it. I think they'll win 12, 13 games maybe, but this is what it is, man.
Well, it's like saying if Antonio Cromartie is a top 5 cornerback, like, if he's not 5, okay, he's 6 and 7. All right, if they're not going to go to the NFC Championship game, they go to the fucking divisional championship game. They are a great team because of him. Period.
Yeah. The most I don't care, like him and Adrian Peterson and Peyton Manning too, but they're like the most valuable players in the NFL.
Yeah.
Because let's say
your boy.
Who are you talking about?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck. Yeah. Well, never mind. Forget all of them. Andrew Luck is the most valuable player in the NFL. That's right.
Continue your point.
No, but I'm saying, like, it's guys like that, even Phil's boy, Brady and Drew Brees and stuff, like, they won't win without these. I mean, they just won't win. Like, even Peyton, I would say you put a competent quarterback on that Broncos team, they still win their fair share of games. You know what I mean? But
is that knocking my boy? Is that knocking my boy Tebow?
No, but I mean that wasn't intentional, but I guess so.
Last I checked, when Brady was removed from the starting quarterback.
Oh, shut up!
Oh my God! No.
We're not going there.
That team was like ridiculous.
Yes, I know. We've had this argument before. Phil explained it very clearly. It's cool.
But yeah, like he. That's my pick for MVP, to be honest with you. But
who?
Aaron Rodgers. But he's in such a shit predicament.
Yeah.
Just shit.
Who did they draft in the first round?
I don't even. No, Lacey was second. I don't remember.
Yeah, actually, I have it right here. They drafted Datone Jones.
Oh, Dante Jones.
Oh, Dante Jones. They drafted a defensive end.
Yeah.
Oh, they drafted 2 linemen in the 4th round. But it's not. I don't think they're producing it yet. But anyways, I like the Packers a lot. Remember, Aaron Rodgers is not just. He's not just any other great quarterback. He's a bad man. I think the best quarterback in the NFL always has a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
That's why the Pats have a chance.
Oh God, you sound like Skip Bayless right now.
Did you know that you saw that he picked him to win the Super Bowl again?
Yeah. So he said some bullshit.
And he's already turning on him. He turned on him against the Jets. He thinks the Jets are going to win.
Well, he needs to. It's Skip Bayless. He needs to, cover his ends.
He says some dumb shit today that I'll talk about a little bit later in this video.
But yeah, that's our. Basically, we are all in consensus. The top teams are the Broncos, Niners, Seahawks, Packers, maybe the Texans, and maybe the Patriots. I don't think the Ravens are at that level, though. I am sticking with my prediction that they're going 7-9. I'm sticking with that. All right, college football. The landscape of college football. All right, Markeem, how about we start with the big news story? Explain what the fuck happened with Mac Brown.
They gave up 550 yards. There's a handful of.
This is Texas, by the way.
Yeah, if you don't know who Mac Brown is, you probably should be watching this video, to be honest. But unless you're just watching for like the NFL, but if you're watching for like both and you don't know who Mac Brown is, please cut this video off. or if you're just watching for college football, you get what I'm saying. But
or maybe they could be watching just for us.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Maybe you don't even know anything about football and you just. But what was my point? He just got me all off.
Mac Brown, something.
Yeah, like the fan base wants him gone, but Texas kind of gets put in a hard position because every year he finishes strong, so it's hard to fire him. Well, after that performance against BYU, and this is like to give Skip Bayless credit, even though they're not really that type of team anymore, but they're usually known as the put it in the air type. We don't pound the ball. We throw 50 times a game school. That was their reputation for like 30 years. I mean, they're not really like that anymore. But when people see BYU, the name BYU rushing 550 yards, they go, how did you even let this happen? You know what I'm saying? So Mac Brown had to do something to save his own ass, so he got rid of Manny Diaz. And he was like, hey, it's either me or you. It's me. You have to go. So I gotta say that I was a little shocked because the rumor is that Mac Brown's supposed to be taking some time off regardless of what happens this year. But it's looking like now there's a good chance he could get fired. So wow. He's trying. He did this. It was self-preservation. I'm pretty sure they came up to him like, hey, either you get rid of your boy or we get rid of you. So. He was like, and that's his boy. So I'm pretty sure he was like, hey, you got to go. It's sad, though, man, because, these niggas won BCS bowls and national titles together. It's kind of sad.
Yeah. Sure. Well, Manny Diaz has been there that long?
Yeah, he's been there since the Vince Young title.
Wow.
They like that. That's his boy.
Damn, that's rough. How long has Mac Brown been coaching there?
2000, 99. His first year was the Ricky Williams year.
Wow.
Like the Ricky Williams is sophomore year. So whenever that was his first year.
His winning percentage is still. He still has an overall head coaching record of 232 and 114.
That's why it's hard to get rid of him.
Yeah. No, and he does end strong. Remember we were looking at this. Yeah, last year I think they won like their last 3 to 4. Their last like 4 games or something like that. And the year before it was the same thing.
And won the bowl game. So it's hard to get rid of them.
Look at this. In 2008 they go 12-1 and they win the Fiesta Bowl. In 2009 they go 13-1 and they go to the national championship game. Then they go 5-7. Then they go 8-5 and then they go 9-4. Like it's tough. I can understand.
And he's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
It's Texas, man. You got to win. Bob Stoops is on the hot seat, too. But there's one coach that is on the ultimate hot seat, and we'll get there in a second.
A quick question. How many games would Mac Brown need to win and not be fired? Like, would he have to go undefeated the rest of the year?
I'd say 10.
10. So basically, another 9-4 performance won't do it.
He's probably gone.
Okay. And, we'll get to the prediction later on. It's not really a big game. Are they beating Ole Miss this weekend? Ole Miss is ranked.
I'm going to say no.
Okay.
But that's one of the ones I could be wrong about. So.
All right. We'll take a look.
I'm gonna say, did y'all see Robert Kendici a couple weeks ago?
No. Wait, what about him?
That dude is a monster, man.
Well, he was the number
He's
one.
like a
He was the number one recruit in the country.
Yeah, man. He's I mean, I didn't like. He's just an athlete. Like he's an athletic beast, man.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has the instincts like Clowney or something like that, but he might be more athletic, to be honest with you.
Phil,
because he's bigger and just as agile.
Phil, Robert Nkemdiche was the number one overall recruit in the country last year.
Right. Yeah, I think I knew that.
Yeah, and he went to Ole Miss of all places.
Okay, yeah.
Ole Miss had the number one recruiting class in the country.
Right.
Expect them to be on Outside the Lines in a few months, talking about their scandalous behavior.
You think so? You think everyone's saying that. Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's fucking Ole Miss. Like, you're Robert Nkemdiche. You can go anywhere in the country, and you pick Ole Miss.
Wanted to play in the SEC and somewhere he knew he'd start immediately.
He would have started in most places.
I mean, in the SEC though, immediately.
There had to. I'm sorry, I'm not convinced.
I mean, I'm a little skeptical too. I'm a little skeptical too. But,
and it's not like it's just him. Like you said, they had the best recruiting class in the country. Yeah. But we'll see with that. But anyways, we'll move on from Mac Brown. Let's talk about two ACC teams that one of them didn't play last week. The other one kind of just played a scrub team. We already talked a lot about Miami. How do FSU and Clemson look?
Taj Boyd looked incredible against Georgia. Looked incredible last week too against don't tell me.
South Carolina State.
Yeah, damn Phil.
Sorry.
Yeah, he looked incredible, but it's South Carolina State. But
they were a great band.
No, he can he can fling it, man. You give him time, he can fling it. You know, and if they protect him, they can beat anybody. I think that was shown when he tore apart Georgia. But I think that had a lot to do with him being in Death Valley too, like the crowd noise and all that stuff. Because Georgia couldn't run in no huddle,
right?
Yeah, I mean because of the crowd noise. So I like him though, man. I just don't. I'm not ready to buy them doing like extraordinary things though. Like aside from like winning the conference, I can't see them like let's say they make it into the BCS, you know what I mean, by winning the conference. Let's say they play, like a SEC at-large team. Like, let's say it's like, by the grace of God, like South Carolina or something. They lose. Or A&M, you know what I mean? They lose. You know what I mean? I'm just not ready to buy them on that national stage yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
But in terms of the conference, I think they can take anybody.
Phil? If you have anything to add to Clemson's thing, if you want, or not really.
And their defense is better. A lot better.
I agree with Markeem. I mean, and then, they have Sammy Watkins who's a beast. So
Sammy Watkins is a stud. We didn't mention him when we mentioned our top receivers. That's on you.
Because I don't think he's elite.
Whoa.
Oh.
I think he's an incredible athlete. I think his hands are questionable, and that showed in the Georgia game when he dropped 3 passes.
Yeah.
But,
my boy will kill you.
He's not elite. Like I'm sorry.
My boy has Marquise Lee 1, Watkins 2, Mike Evans 3.
I would flip flop Evans and Watkins. I think he's really good. I think he comes in the NFL and is a really good receiver, not an elite one.
Wow. Damn. This is surprising. All right, fine. But yeah, Clemson's really good. Can you explain to everyone Jameis Winston?
Yo, there was so much hype behind this dude. I didn't know where he finally committed to until the game. I was like, oh, that's where he ended up going. like, because 2 years ago, like, I heard about this dude so much. And then, because he had, like, that whole thing. Didn't he have, like, a little slogan that was, like, all over the internet and shit? I forgot what it was. But, I heard so much about the dude. And I was like, I want to see him play. Dog, he's a monster, man. Like, Pitt, a lot of people don't even know. They had a top 20 defense last year. Was, like, what, like top 10 in the nation in like sacks or some shit like that. He shredded them, like completely annihilated them. Game was over in like a quarter and a half. I'm already going to say it. Like he's better than EJ Manuel already. Like already better.
Do you know what his completion percentage was?
It was like 70 something, right? Something
It
like
was 93.
Really?
He was 25 for 27.
Oh yeah, 2 incomplete passes. Yeah, okay, I remember. Yeah, okay,
93% completion.
That's nuts.
He was balling, man.
Yeah, no, I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, because he had that streak where like he completed like 17 consecutive passes, and it like tied a school record or some shit like that. Yeah.
Hey, don't worry, they got a tough one against us. A little nervous, but I do think that would be our only loss all year. But I'm confident enough. We'll get to expect me and you to talk a lot about that weekend.
He's better than EJ Manuel already though.
Well, EJ Manuel beat us last year pretty badly too.
So we'll get there. We'll get there.
All right, and then we move on to, before we hit the SEC, even though we've kind of already done South Carolina, but very quickly, just South Carolina. We'll do the SEC, then we'll get this other team last. But South Carolina, Florida, and Georgia, we've kind of already talked about all three of them. But like, what are there, if there are any national title, what are their national big game relevancies?
I can't remember Georgia's schedule off the top of the head. I don't think Florida's good enough to win the East. I think South Carolina and Georgia are both better than them. But I can't remember Georgia's schedule off the top of the head.
Here, I can tell you it right now. I have it right here. This week.
Oh, they have LSU soon.
The LSU's next week. I know, in 2 weeks. LSU's in 2 weeks. Oh. And then it's at Tennessee, Missouri, Vanderbilt, the Gators, Appalachian State, Auburn, Kentucky, and Georgia Tech. So they got 2 more tough ones.
It's the only game I think they could lose in that whole thing is Florida. And they at the Swamp? It's at the Swamp, right?
No. It's in Georgia.
Oh, it's in Athens? Well, never mind.
My bad. Neutral location.
Where?
I don't know. It just says game played at neutral location.
The location, yeah. That's weird.
Last year was at the Swamp, right?
I think so.
I know. Oh yeah, because the good old fashioned hate. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, that's the name of that rivalry. Yeah, I forgot about that. It's always that. What am I talking about? God damn it, it's late. Yeah, I think they're gonna win the East. I think they're gonna win every game. Win the East.
And then
I think they're gonna be. Yeah, I think they're gonna be undefeated. Yeah, to play because I think South Carolina's gonna win every other game. I thought they were gonna, be undefeated in the SEC championship game. I still think they're better than Georgia. Georgia just got the best of them. That's what I think.
Right.
But and I think Georgia's just gonna lose again.
Let's hope so.
Same thing they did last year. Just gonna lose again.
But right now you have Georgia in the SEC championship game.
Yeah. I think they're of those 3 teams, they're in the best position to do that.
Okay.
Even though Florida's loss was a non-conference loss, so they can somehow beat South Carolina and Georgia, which I doubt. They can, they be in that game.
Yeah. Last week. So last year was like this 3-way. How did Georgia get the edge? Because I know Georgia beat Florida.
Crazy tiebreaker shit. I can't remember.
Yeah, Florida beat South Carolina. Bad.
South Carolina beat Georgia badly, and Georgia beat Florida. And I really think that's one of them times where y'all complain about playoff. I was right there with y'all. I was like, they got to do something right there. I had them like something, that was weird. But that don't happen often. So, but that was weird though.
Did South Carolina lose another game? Oh yeah, LSU. Completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right, makes things a little different. But yeah, no, that is strange. All right, then we finally got the last big team. Before we get to the big guy, we're gonna talk about the big guy. A team that's kind of drawing a lot of attention this year. Obviously Ohio State, but Braxton's hurt. Do we know the extent of the injury?
He's gonna miss the next game, and then after that, who knows?
Will they lose?
No, they're fine.
Don't they need him?
Yeah, but they'll win this week.
Oh, at California.
Yeah, they'll win this week. California D is terrible. They'll win this week.
All right. And then finally, the team that's been getting a lot of attention, they just beat Notre Dame in the last ever Michigan-Notre Dame game for the foreseeable future.
How is that, by the way?
Because Notre Dame his basketball program is moving to the ACC.
Right.
They're gonna remain an independent in football, but a lot of they're gonna play 5 ACC games a year, and they're just not gonna schedule Michigan for like the foreseeable future.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Because of the other partners they have. Like it was mainly because they were so independent, and they had that deal with the Big Ten, to where they played one team from the Big Ten, and it was always Michigan. So,
Right.
yeah.
well, at least what was it? At least one team, and it was always Michigan. So,
Yep. Yeah, interesting scheduling. But what are your thoughts on Michigan now that they got that win? And what are your thoughts on Devin Gardner and the
from what I saw, I mean, he's a better passer than the kick returner, Denar Rouse. He's a better passer. He's athletic. He made a dumb mistake at the end of that game, though. That almost
Oh gosh. Oh, I saw.
completely blew it.
Oh goodness. The play.
But he's good. He can play. That defense is nasty. That pass rush is just get after you, hit you in the mouth. Tommy Reese was on his ass a lot. I felt bad for him. He got hit a lot. But yeah, they're good. I think Ohio State's better, but I think they're good.
Speaking of Tommy Reese, are you taking back some of the negative things you've said about him because his play's improved a bit? Or not?
I said he was a game manager. That's what he did, right? Is that what he did?
Quarterback has ever Golson's stupid behind.
That dude, and he could have had a big year this year too.
Ugh.
You know that Tommy Reese threw 74 passes against Michigan? Only completed 60% of them, but 74 passes. That's crazy. Jesus.
He's still a game manager.
Yeah, no. I'm not complimenting him. I'm just mentioning. So yeah, that about does it for the top teams. That Michigan, Ohio State, undefeated versus undefeated team thing is looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. Go college football.
I was just looking at Michigan's schedule. Akron, Connecticut, Minnesota, Penn State, Indiana, Michigan State, Nebraska, Northwestern, Iowa. Very winnable.
And poor Akron, man. That's such a bad team.
Hey, you know you know Akron?
Yeah, that's a bad team. It's an awful, awful team.
Hey, they beat James Madison.
Who cares, man? That's an FCS school, man. Who cares?
Yeah, James Madison.
You know what you would call it? A kid from my high school is their starting receiver.
There you go. That's tell you all you need to know. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't even know that guy. But yeah, that's
Amani Davis. Or his name.
Akron's a bad squad, though. Just bad. Ask who's that guy I follow on Twitter? I mean, we're talking. He was like, "Oh God, we're gonna suck." I forget his name, but yeah,
he's an Akron fan.
Yeah, he's Ohio State because he's from Ohio. He's an Ohio State and Akron fan. And I was like,
"This isn't MC Anscar, is it?"
No. He's a Toledo fan.
He's a Toledo fan.
Yeah, Jeremy Foster. That guy. That guy's awesome. But yeah.
Damn.
I feel so bad for him. They suck.
Hey, man, they got Amani Davis caught an 11-yard touchdown pass from Nick Hirschman against that UCF. But don't undercount UCF. UCF, they got Storm Johnson. He's pretty talented, in my opinion.
All right, let's move on to the guy that I wanted to yell about.
Yeah,
wait, hold on. First up, very quickly, no love for UCF, Markeem?
I mean, okay. They're okay.
They play South Carolina next week.
And they're going to die. So
yeah. and then they play Louisville after that.
And then they're going to get their soul taken.
Pretty smooth sailing after that, but yeah. Hey, but if they go undefeated, they'll play for a national title. Yes, they will.
Moving it. Well, yeah, that's true. Louisville and South Carolina. but that won't happen.
Oh, hold on. And a quick question: if they beat South Carolina and Louisville beats them, wouldn't that be that one game that Bridgewater needs?
It depends on what ranking that would give UCF.
I mean, if South probably put them like in the top 15, top 20.
Like if they get top 15, possibly. All but right. Top 20 wouldn't be good enough.
All right, your boy. Let's go.
If y'all don't know,
I've been waiting for this moment for like 5 days now. But let's go.
the USC Trojans, one of the most storied, and let me get this straight, okay? Let me go ahead and clarify this. I am not a Trojans fan. I respect what the Trojans mean to college football. Everything they have accomplished, everything that this school embodies in terms of college football, all the great players such as Marcus Allen, O.J. Simpson, Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart, Carson Palmer, Mike Williams, Troy Polamalu. I'd be here all day, okay? They lost to Washington State. Now, Washington State is a team that finished second to last in the Pac-12 last season. Hold on. The second worst defense in the Pac-12 last season. Bottom 30 in offense in college football last season. And all USC could get on them was 7 points. Okay. Lane Kiffin obviously listened because he figured he had 2 young quarterbacks. Let's not have them throw the ball that much. Let's just run the ball. And which they did. They did run the ball, to be fair. They had I think 160 yards rushing for the game. Okay. The defense played phenomenal. Okay. But Lane Kiffin was so predictable. In terms of offensive play calling, so predictable. They got to the point where they weren't really moving the ball. They were just advancing the ball. They only had 15 first downs the whole game. You know what I mean? Most teams average about anywhere from 20 to 30. You know what I mean? For a game. They did pretty good running the ball, but they only had 15 first downs. Something don't add up here. They only had 7 points to show for it. He went for it on 4th twice when they were down by 3 points and they were in field goal range. And he did it twice. He did it the first time he did it. I thought he was just going because I watched the last 2 quarters of this game. I had Stanford and who they play last week? I can't remember, but they destroyed them. I had that on the computer, and I had USC and fucking
it was Stanford and San Jose State.
San Jose State, there you go. I had USC and Washington State on my TV on the fucking Fox Sports California channel, I think it was, because I got the college football package with my Time Warner cable, because that's how big a fan I am. He was doing just dumb shit dog. Matt Whittick and Cody Kessler, they switched time, they traded possessions, and they both were struggling. Why do you have them play action pass on 4th down? You know what I mean? You're at home. You're at home, dude. Make Washington State beat you. Make them beat you. Instead of putting them in a position to where there's a turnover late, they get good field position, field goal wins the game. This dude needs to be gone. Dog. It is at the point now where the Trojan fans have just turned on it. They're throwing shit on the field. They
chanted "Fire Kiffin."
Fire Kiffin,
Fire Kiffin. Very audible on television.
Dog, it's over. I don't know how he does this. There's a lot of jobs Lane Kiffin could do in this world. You know what I mean? Shoe salesman, car salesman, selling appliances in Circuit City, even though there's 5 of them in the United States. Best Buy, he can maybe go to school, get a degree in computer technology or marine biology or some shit like that. But anything that involves teacher, coordinator, or coach, he should never do again. Just because his last name is Kiffin and his dad is a legend, that is how what has he done? Seriously, y'all, for real, I want y'all to look it up. What has he done in the sport of football that he keeps getting better jobs than the last one? How does he, dog, he coaches the Raiders.
Yeah.
And then they fire him. And then he ends up getting one of the top jobs at the time in college football at Tennessee. And then he leaves Tennessee, even though USC got hit with sanctions, and that's his excuse for everything. He throws his players under the bus because he says, I can't recruit like I want to because we have the sanctions. Well, Lane, you didn't have any sanctions at all this year. You had all your scholarships. You can play in a bowl game. You got everything you want this year. Explain that loss, Lane. Dog. there's upsets all the time. Like, no, if they were in Washington, I wouldn't say a word. You know what I mean? Because it happens. It's college football. Crazy shit happens. You're in the Coliseum. The team Pac-12 teams go here to die. Like, as Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll's thing was that we don't lose in this stadium. Like, y'all might get us on the road, but y'all won't get us here. Lane Kiffin has been gotten there like 5 times. when Pete Carroll's entire tenure there, I think he had 5 total losses in that fucking stadium.
Yeah.
How does this happen? I want somebody to explain it. I need and motherfuckers kill me. I was like, well, this is only his 2nd season without the sanctions. You know what I mean? So maybe we should give him maybe 1 more year and see what happens. No, it's time. It is time now. Time to move on. And you know what? I'm putting my name out there. I need to be the coach of the University of Southern California Trojans. Because Marquise Lee will get thrown to so many times. We would have a unique offense that caters to what my players can do well. The defense, and I told you the defense would be better. You know what I mean? They because they're more talented, and they got a lot of guys back that were injured last year. You know what I mean? But it's no excuse now. He needs to go. Like, he should have been fired the day after the game. Like, it was.
I read an article that there might have been a chance of that.
Yeah, like he was, like I heard that he got called in the AD's office and he yelled at him and all this sort of shit. And that's where the comment came out that he was talking about the sanctions. Well, they don't exist anymore, Lane. They don't exist. You have no excuse. Win some fucking games. Win some games or get the fuck on through. You ruined Matt Barkley's senior year when he decided to come back. You know, they had the team to challenge for a national championship. You ruined his senior year because you are inept. Like this man slipped all the way to the 4th round because of him. Like, it's because of no one else but Lane Kiffin. What did we say? The year that fucking Andrew Luck came out, people were saying fucking Matt Barkley was better than RG. I mean, I didn't think that, but people were saying that. You know what I mean? And you know what? The debate could have been made. Now ain't nobody saying no shit like that. You don't hear anyone say that. And it's all because of this man. This man, I don't even know him, but I'm going to say it. He's a shit human. Get through. Fuck out of here. I'm done. I will never rant about him again on the show. I'm serious this time. Because this
has been like the 4th time.
But nah, for real. This time.
Another coach's job somewhere.
This time I'm serious, though. Like, he shouldn't have this job. Honestly, he's the most misqualified employee in America. In America. No. When you go to the DMV and the bitch behind the counter is like giving you lip and not helping you at all, Lane Kiffin is worse than her. Like I'm pretty sure everyone can relate to this. Y'all have gone to the DMV and then the bitch behind the counter, she's all mad at you because she's been in there for 10 hours and she's treating you like shit because of it. Lane Kiffin is that chick. He's that chick. That just gives you the. He's like a waitress that doesn't check and see if you need it. Like he sucks at his job. He sucks at his job. His job. Your job is to put your guys in the best position to win, and he does the opposite all the time, every time. Opposite. I'm done with this cat. Man. Done.
Oh my god. Kiffin is the worst employee in America.
That's awesome.
The most misqualified guy.
Lane Kiffin is the worst employee in America.
I'm imagining Lane Kiffin actually being a waiter and just like being at the counter, like playing tic-tac-toe on his paper instead of giving people their food. Oh my god, that was fantastic. Thank you, sir, for that. That was quite great. And we still have 10 more weeks of this, so who knows?
No, I'm done with him. I'm serious. Y'all won't hear me say a damn word about this dude at all.
Hey, man,
I'm
but
serious.
Matt Barkley's junior year, man, they were incredible.
I think that had a lot more to do with him.
Barkley?
Yeah, and you know what? I think that's what saved that motherfucker's job. Like that's what's keeping him employed. Well, we did it one time I was here. Maybe we can do it again. No. It's not because of you. It's because of that USC team. That was a really good team. They just couldn't play for anything.
The 2000. Oh, the one that was because of the sanctions.
Yeah, that was a good. No, they gave Andrew Luck and them all they can handle.
Yeah, they went to triple overtime.
And then some. Yeah. And Oregon. They went to war with Oregon, dog.
They beat Oregon.
Yeah.
Damn. And then last year's team as talented as the 2011 team? Or no?
Almost. Just about. That's why they were ranked number 1 in the nation before the season started. And finished unranked.
Losing to Georgia Tech in the hunt.
Losing to Paul Johnson's gimmicky triple option in a fucking bowl game that if you would have asked me would they even see, I'd be like, no.
Man. They lost to Stanford. Was that one understandable at least? Or nah?
Yeah. I mean, Stanford's that. As long as David Shaw, or because he's in Jim Harbaugh's system, like he came straight from that system. As long as he's there, they'll be fine. And they'll be fine.
And then they lost to Arizona, which was not acceptable.
And I remember Phil, shot in the dark, just picked that.
Yep.
Then the Oregon game where you predicted Oregon to score 70 and they scored 62. Then they lost to UCLA. And they lost to Notre Dame. And they lost to Georgia Tech. And dude, I'm going to go compliment my... Next time I have an issue with the DMV employee, I'll just say, hey, you're better at your job than Lane Kiffin.
There you go. There you go.
Jesus, that was crazy. Anyways, now that we've talked about the man, we can do our picks for the weekend. Are we going to start with the game, or are we going to end with the game?
We're going to end with the game. Let's end with the game.
End with the game? All right. College football, I'm officially going to pull up our records.
No, let's go NFL and then let's go.
All right. But I do want to say
we're going to end with the game.
I am going to be pulling up our records for YouTube King.
I forgot all about that.
Here, let me read some of these gems from last year from Phil. Panthers and Bucks have no chance to win the division. Saints won't go worse than 9-7. Markeem is going to know a lot more of college football than me. Phillip Rivers is going to get back to the form he used to be.
I thought I was a year late, but
you were almost right a year later.
Yeah, it's almost right.
NFC East, best division in football. The one that he got mad props for, a 10-16, won't make the playoffs.
Couldn't believe that.
Which was very impressive.
Believe that.
Boo.
If Cardinals lose in Week 7 to Minnesota, they're done, and they only won one more game the rest of the season. Also impressive.
That was dope.
Clowney will be the number 1 overall pick. Depends.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Actually,
we'll see.
I don't know, man. Usually the teams that are that bad don't have quarterbacks.
That's true. That's true.
Like, if you are 2-14 or 3-13, unless, like, Andrew Luck, like, tears his ACL tomorrow, like, if you are that bad, it's because you do not have a franchise quarterback.
Hey man, don't say nothing like that.
I'm knocking on wood. And the Falcons are the best team in the league. Wow. That's oddly specific. Let's go to Markeem's record. 4 years now. 4 years. We'll be talking about Andrew Luck and RG3 as the 2 best quarterbacks in football.
On track. So far, so good. We're almost there.
Now we're 3 years then. 3 years left, right?
No, 4 years.
I said 5 years before.
Oh, it's 5. Okay. Well.
Michael Vick sucks and the Eagles won't make the playoffs.
And what happened?
Well, I will never pick against Notre Dame, including if they ever face Alabama.
And I didn't. I didn't.
I will never pick the Lions for the rest of my life.
And I haven't.
I will never pick the Lions for the rest of my life.
I will never pick Texas Tech ever.
Yeah, that's not happening either.
Not this week. Got a lot of those. I will never.
And next we move on. Oh, you also said Packers will blow out the 49ers. I think that was the exact opposite.
Yeah, that's the exact opposite of what happened.
And I'll put my balls on the line that no team will beat Brady and Manning back to back.
And that happened. The Ravens.
Yeah. He put balls on that one. And
because I was like, well, Markeem, at least we can have your balls.
What's my record? I don't have a lot. I said Matt Ryan won't win a playoff game. I was wrong. Marvin Lewis won't win a playoff game.
Yeah, well, didn't he win?
No.
Texas got him, yeah.
Peyton Manning will go farther than Eli Manning in the postseason.
And Eli didn't even make the postseason, so.
The Bucs would finish second in the division, technically.
Well, kinda.
By technicality, you win that one.
and I will pick Tim Tebow in the playoffs.
Good thing that shit didn't happen.
Hey, man, if he's ever the starting quarterback in the playoffs, I'm forced to pick him, even if it's against my precious Texans. All right.
What if it's like the Dolphins in the Super Bowl and Tim Tebow
God.
miraculously got there, which will never happen, but...
Well, that was our 2012 record, and now I'm going to be opening up our 2013 record. Me and Phil have our division predictions on here. As far as last week, for those that actually watched our show, between me and Phil, Phil went 1-2, 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 4-2. We're not going to count this though because Marquise wasn't involved.
And then both of those videos should have got more views, in my opinion. You know, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all completely.
It'll come. And I went 5-1 because I picked the Eagles and not the Redskins.
I picked the Redskins. Who else did I miss?
The Falcons.
Oh, that's right.
I missed that one too. But yeah, let's get the new record set up for our new predictions and documents. But I'm going to be putting on both of your records. For example, on your record, Markeem, it will say I will never pick the Lions for the rest of my life.
Because I won't. I don't care. Them niggas can make the Super Bowl and be undefeated. And I'd be like, nope.
I will never pick Texas Tech, which actually they come up this week.
And I'm not.
And you're not. And whatchamacallit, Phil. Oh, and I'm going to put the RG3 and Andrew Luck thing. I'm going to update this in 4 years. All right. That does it for the records. I don't think there was any on mine or Phil's that kind of rolls over, but those three rolled over and those are staying. Phil, you want to predict another Phillip Rivers turnaround?
No, I'm good. I was almost gonna be like, man, I was a year late, but
nope.
In that second half happened.
All right, let's get the game predictions going here. First off, in the NFL, I guess the first big game, quote unquote, would be Thursday night's game, Jets and Patriots. I'm going to start with this one because I have a lot to say. I'm predicting the upset. I'm going out on a limb here. The Patriots. This may be the Patriots team that's going to be playing on Thursday might be the worst Patriots team to play in the NFL since like 2005. Like they struggle early on every year. It's a proven fact, and they have no talent to rely on other than Julian Edelman and I guess Stephen Ridley. Shane Vereen and Danny Amendola were a big reason why they won that game against Buffalo last week, which they could have lost. They're both out. Gronk is still out. Hernandez is still in the prison cell.
Just say half of the team is either doing push-ups and block A or in the IR. In the IR, you know what I mean?
Yes, they're either doing push-ups in block A or drinking from their little sippy cup in the emergency room.
There you go.
But this team...
Hernandez probably got like a giant fruit now, sitting with giant legs, getting his hair braided.
Tom Brady is going to... God damn it. Tom Brady is going to have to rely on Kenbrell Tompkins, Zach Sudfeld, Mike Kulani, whatever his damn name is. Aaron Dobson, I think, actually is also hurt. All he's got is Julian Edelman, who really isn't that big of a deal.
Hey, whoa.
He's talented. He's talented.
That dude is pretty goddamn good, and Tom Brady will make him really goddamn good.
Yeah. It's all he's got. But
you know what I mean.
That defense won't be given much of a challenge because Geno is still young, but the Jets defense is already really good. We talked about this before off the air. Antonio Cromartie is one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. That defensive line is legit. Muhammad Wilkerson is a stud, and he will be a big deal in a few years. Antoine Barnes played really well. That defense has always been good. They were number 2 in passing yards last year. But the defensive line in particular looks impressive. And the Patriots O-line, they lost Donald Thomas, who in my opinion was the best or second best guy on that line. He's blocking for Andrew Luck now. They're going to struggle. The defense will prevent the Patriots from scoring. Here's a stat for you. When Tom Brady was throwing to Edelman, Amendola, or Shane Vereen last week, his completion percentage was like 65 or 70. When he was throwing to any of his new receivers, it was 35.
Ugh.
That's disgusting.
That's not good.
Kenbrell Tompkins had 4 catches. He had 17 targets.
Yeah, he was sucking balls.
And this ain't Logan Thomas. Tom Brady's placing the ball there. You know,
yeah.
Like it's.
We know this ain't Logan Thomas.
Yeah, we know this ain't Logan Thomas.
Like I'm saying, like I just like people call me crazy. Yes, I know I'm the Patriots hater. I picked them to win last week though, and I picked them to win the division over my precious Dolphins. And if there was any year where I had any evidence to say that the Dolphins were going to win, this would be the year. But I don't know. I think it's a trap game. I think the Jets are really motivated. And I just think the Patriots are going to struggle offensively. They only put up 20 points against the Bills. I don't think they're going to put up more than 17 against the Jets. Can Geno score? I mean, he scored on the Bucs defense, which was better than the Patriots defense that they're going to play. So I don't see why it's that ridiculous. They're huge underdogs. They're 13-point underdogs, which is almost absurd. I get that the butt fumble and the Thanksgiving Day massacre, 13 points is a lot. But, yeah, I'm going on a limb. I'm picking the Jets. That's my call. Markeem, you go, then Phil, close it off because it's your team.
I got the Jets for pretty much all the same reasons you said. Like, it's simply because the Patriots are so banged up. Like, for no other reason but that, because at full strength, they would maul these dudes.
Yes,
but they aren't. So, it's just too much to over. If Tom Brady does, though, like, that adds to the legend of number 12. I won't lie to you. But, if he plays well, and they do, you know what I mean? But, I like, this is one of those weeks where this ain't even really an upset all that much to me, because just because of how banged up they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. Phil?
Oh man, they're the Jets. No, I mean you guys make points, but God, I can't. Never, ever. The Patriots,
No, that one I can understand. I can definitely understand.
I hate, like, is there anybody in the division I hate? It's definitely the Jets. I hate them. They're the most hated team in the NFL. I hope they all just fall.
Whoa. Your boys are far more hated than the Jets are.
Huh?
Your
my
boys-
most.
He's saying that he hates.
Yeah, my most hated.
Okay.
But anyways, I honestly think the Patriots are still going to maul these guys. It's probably going to be closer than my heart can want it to be, but I don't know. I just don't see the Jets pulling this off.
I will say this.
I feel like if any team can make if anybody can make Geno Smith look horrible, it's going to be Bill Belichick.
I was going to say
That is true.
They do have a turnover in 28 consecutive games.
Yes, they do.
And their quarterback is young. He's prone to turning the ball over at this stage of his career.
And they're definitely going to get some in this game. And I think I really think the Patriots win easily, but I'm saying easily at like 2 touchdowns. Like I think it's Pats off.
But yo, like I said, this is the only week you will ever hear me pick the Jets ever, probably.
Am I going to put that on your record?
Yeah, you might have to put that on the record. So,
and the 1 week you're picking them against my boy, man.
Yeah, only because of the ailments. That's all. That is all, Phil.
But I still think they'll overcome it. I don't fear anybody on that Jets offense outside of possibly Geno having, being impressive or something like that.
I mean, hey, look, he scored it. The Bucs defense is better than yours significantly.
Supposed to be better.
We'll find that out later.
Yeah.
Hey, Revis. I think that's.
I was gonna ask, how did Revis play, by the way?
He was him. Like from what I saw, like they threw on his side. Motherfucker didn't get the ball. That's what he does. So, like they tried to attack him. It didn't work. So yeah.
Not that they have really a number. I don't even know the Jets' number 1 receiver.
It's
Santonio probably. Yeah, Santonio.
I think
What?
Santonio Holmes. Oh, and also we should also mention Jeremy Curley is also out. So it's Santonio Holmes and Stephen Hill and God, I don't even know after that.
Awful. Oh gosh, I can't wait for the game tomorrow night.
But don't disrespect Bilal Powell.
This is Geno Smith, and if Geno Smith can't get anything done, this is gonna be ugly. Like I'm telling you.
But also, we have to realize is, have the Patriots really played the dual threat quarterback recently?
Yeah, the last time they played it was Tebow, and they destroyed him.
Well, okay, you know what that's not fair.
We're talking about a dual threat.
They played Kaepernick, and the 49ers were destroying us at first, but we came back. Well,
you came back because fucking that's when Justin Smith got hurt. Arguably one of their best defensive players.
Yeah, but we're talking about against Kaepernick. Though.
I'm just saying, like, what if Geno decides to take off on his feet? How will they respond? We haven't really seen it a whole lot.
We're gonna light him up, and we're gonna make sure Rex Ryan freaking eats it.
Watch Geno Smith has like the game he had against Baylor. I guess yeah. All because Phil is saying all this shit. Watch.
Dude, I'm telling you, if the Jets win, I'm not gonna be a happy camper.
Yo, if Geno like lights them up, Phil probably won't even do the show next week.
I might legit cry. If the Jets win this game, I might legit cry. For real, yo.
You're
But
4-0 against them.
the Jets lose, man. Come on.
The Jets lose, you will cry?
I might legit cry.
All right, I'm putting that on the record. If the Jets lose, I will cry.
No,
the
the
Jets.
Patriots lose.
Patriots
If the
lose.
Patriots lose. If the Patriots lose, I will cry. All right, moving on.
And you got to think about that too. From Sunday, they have short time to prepare for the game. Sunday to Thursday, Belichick, I take him all day over Rex Ryan, the worst head.
That is true. Well, hey, the worst head coach? No, Phil.
No, that would be Lane Kiffin.
No, Lane Kiffin's the worst employee. We've established this.
Well, in pro football, I'd probably say someone like Ron Rivera or some shit like that. It's awful.
Well, Rex Ryan is a defensive-minded coach.
Ron Rivera is probably. It's such a shame because that team is talented enough to go to the playoffs, and they're probably going to go 6-10. Damn shame.
But yeah, I got the Pats, of course.
All right.